Welcome to another exciting edition of the Voice of the College Nation radio show. I am a chief host, the College Genesis, guiding through the next couple of hours and some interesting conversation, stimulating debate. Welcome. Now, when you know you got a topic like what is a suitable African country for African American expats and investors, you know things are going to get hot tonight. You know things are going to go down. So stop what you're doing. Tell a friend, tell somebody, tell a coworker that this is a place to be tonight with some interesting conversations, stimulating debate and discussions. So, without further ado, I am the College Genesis, and welcome to the show. We already got Baruti in the chat room. You know, his usual babble. There's Ubuntu babble. Perhaps so-called African Americans and Dutch can view the area of the area as a regional territory to invest, engage in. Yeah, we even see it. Look, there's an old saying, Confucius saying, the philosophy of one century should be common sense in the next. The fact that Brother Breweries keep philosophizing about something that should already be done as common sense, it speaks volumes to how backward we really are. But nevertheless, Brother Breweries is a very champion of the cause of Black nationalism, Pan Africanism, and Ubuntuism. So I do rock with him a little bit. So we're gonna have a good time tonight, man. You know things are gonna get hot tonight. You know things that everybody's gonna come in here representing their shithole country. We're not, my shithole is better than your shithole. We're not, no, it's like, dude, man. Can we just have one country in Africa that's first world that we could all rally around and say, yeah, this is the shit and everything like that. Where is the African? All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry, a little technical difficulties, and I went out for a split second. I'm in this hotel in Liberia, so it is not exactly the best. But like I said, now before we get started, I want to talk about a couple of things. One, I want to talk about the State of the Union or the Union address with Donald Trump. No, it was not even a State of the Union. It was a joint session of Congress address. I want to talk about that. Uh, Wise, I would say Kenya, but South Africa, I've gotten some bad reports. I got some bad news about South Africa. by a reliable source just 2 days ago from a Liberian that was just there. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. You know. It's funny how the two groups of black people with the most infrastructure and developed are the two most violent groups of black people on the planet. Black America and South Africa. Why is that? In Brazil, it's like the richer the country is, the more Western the country is, the richer the country is, the more black. South Africa is a freaking nothing but a killing field. It's literally a killing field. I long knew this, right? After this is a poor apartheid, the black murder rate is through the roof. This lady that did my manicure and pedicure, she said that South Africa is so dangerous right now. She said all she knew, one day you're talking to somebody, next thing you know, they're dead. There's so many murders, everything. People got literally gated fences inside their homes. I mean, there's different sections of home. You got to go to the living room, you got to enter another gate. So the intruder comes in, you can retreat to the living room where the bar is there, and another room is a bar, and then they got an escape tunnel and whatnot. It's just, how can you live like that? The whole country's under siege right now with violence and everything like that. It's been like that for like the last 30 years. Let's be honest with ourselves. Kenya's a lot much better because Kenya doesn't have the crime that South Africa has. South Africa is out of control. Then a couple of years ago when the Zulus rioted, so I would say a good country would be Namibia. That's pretty peaceful. And also Botswana. Botswana and Namibia are two peaceful countries, really country. Angola too. But Zambia too is a nice country, to build with. South Africa, nah. As long as you got that large white population and they got most of the wealth, 90% of the wealth and everything, bless you. As long as you got 90% of the wealth, I will let a South Africa speak on that principally. What you need to be worried about is your little island of Haiti. How can you make Haiti great again? Was it ever great? Different part. All of South Africa is dangerous, bro. Different part of South Africa. All of South Africa is dangerous. Just that Cape Town is the most dangerous part of South Africa. So this is not something I just heard about, because if you don't like it, I will play the video. People don't like when I play videos, man. Yeah, we got nice areas, but they're not ours. We just happen to reside in nice areas in America. We just happen to occupy nice, but they're not areas that we own. There's no black homeland in America. So it is what it is. Princess P. But yeah, let's talk about, first I want to talk about Vladimir Lazinski, whatever his name is. Lazinski, whatever his name is. This guy going to come to the White House, sit down with the President of the United States and making demands. Talking about American soldiers are going to die for his fucking war. Are you fucking crazy? That's what I'm saying. Glad Donald, we got a strong leader in the White House. They ain't capitulating to anything. I've never been to ATL. I don't want to go to ATL. I don't want to go to Atlanta. I wouldn't even want to go to Atlanta on my day off. I wouldn't go to Atlanta even on Sundays, not even on Easter Sunday. I want no part of Atlanta. That's like the last place on earth I want to go to is Atlanta. So I'm sorry. You can have Atlanta. Now in the 70s, and the early 80s, I could rock with Atlanta. I like when Maynard Jackson was there and stuff like that. But this ghetto hood rat Atlanta, no, you can keep it, I ain't with all that culture, that ghetto culture. But yeah, so it is what it is, Ain't no African American stronghold. If that's a stronghold, then we are freaking doomed. If Atlanta's a black stronghold or not, where friggin' Stacey Abrams, Patricia Bottoms, and all these other people, Fannie Willis, and all these other sister gals rule, and we are seriously trouble. We are seriously trouble. Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, Princess P. So anyway, this guy Lazinski, whatever his name is, basically, he owes on the hook for America's on the hook for $100 billion given this fool. He can't account for none of it, right? And he wants more. and they're basically going to go to the American public that what's the American public going to do? They elected Donald Trump for a reason to rein in all this nonsense. Next, we have this the State of the Freaking Nonsense address where Al Green, the mulatto, straight hair Negro, that with the good hair went out with the long ponytail. I thought that went out of style. Having a long silky ponytail on a Negro. I thought that went out of style. Whoever brought that back in? Hey, Principe, do you got a long bun in your hair as a ponytail too? Show of hands. Who wears a bun in their hair or a ponytail or something like that? I just don't get it. And so therefore, this is a spokesman for Black people in Texas. I just don't get it. He's up there disrupting Congress. You know, I'm not bashing my people, Principe. If you don't look at it, Donald Trump bashes more white people than he does Black people because the people who oppose him most are these Nicole Wallace's and all these other people like that who just basically can't give him a break. The Nancy Pelosi's and all that, are they really Donald Trump based? They're white. So what are you talking about? He's talking about a certain type of white people, Oh, you have long hair? Oh Lord, I should have known. Principe Perm Principe, I should have known. So you even got Haitian Indians down there, right? Oh Lord, man. The fun never ends. I guess I say I'm always right, You got a perm. If you're a Negro and you got straight hair, DEI does not hurt Black middle class. Take away your DEI, Black people, the people who DEI work for are white middle class women. That's it. They get all the affirmative action, the set asides for everything, like the breaks and everything like that. And none of that stuff ever went to actual minorities in this country. I have soft hair. Okay, yeah, okay. You got a hot comb or you got a perm in your head, bro, boy. You got long hair. You got straight hair. Okay. Don't you 99% African. All right. Okay. All right. So I guess you and Al Green should be like father and son up there, right? Good old Princess of P, But anyway, this fool had to be removed from Congress for his outbursts and whatnot. And just unreal, just out there with his cane, about at that point now, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Are these people just really there to try and embarrass us? These people are there just to try to embarrass us. Get up on stage making a fool out of themselves. Jasmine Crockett twerk dancing, outside the halls of Congress. We're not twerk dancing. We're not making those Black women look like a freaking ratchet hose and whatnot. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it anymore. I don't get it anymore. What senator? What senator are you talking about? What senator are you talking about, Princess? Al Green is not my senator. He's a congressman. He's not a senator. And he's not my congressman. He's nothing to me. He's a clown. I don't have any respect for Congressman Green. Just like I have no respect for Jasmine Crockett. I have no respect for Al Sharpton. I have no respect for any of these people. They're completely, absolutely useless. Maxine Waters. These are people that are useless. All these people are just a use up paycheck. You know, these are people that just basically got lucky and got elected, and they getting a fat check, and they got too much time on their hands to ramble and babble off at the media. When they got no power, no influence, and then and after this 2 years, they're not going to be able to get elected. So I tell people all the time, man, you don't feel guilty about. I probably go where would you feel? I said, feel like Kyle, I feel like a freaking fool, being a Democrat. Well, there you go. It's like, you feel like a fool being a Democrat? Go right ahead, man. Just say what you gotta say. You say because Democrats have been embarrassing people lately. I'm embarrassed to be a Democrat nowadays or whatnot. That's why I vote independent. But tonight's topic is what is a suitable African country for expats and investment? And so I always say I do like Liberia. I think it's a country that has a lot of potential. That's my personal opinion. You have your own personal opinion about what country is the best or good, or suitable. You know, basically people like there's a lot of so-called celebrities, influencers jumping on the Ghana bandwagon, and Ghana has a lot of promise and everything like that. But I don't know. I look at some of the grifters that Ghana's attracting and whatnot. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Are there other countries out there that we don't know about that people should be checking out? Looking at other countries, looking at Botswana, looking at, Gabon has the highest per capita income on the African continent. Gabon, with something like $7,000 a year per capita income. That's a high for Africa. $7,000 a year. That's high for the African continent. So Gabon has a huge because they use this oil wealth to develop it. Gabon does have a lot of poverty, but Gabon's probably is a really, really good country. Yeah, Texas is a freaking joke. I'm looking at Al Green, I'm looking at Jasmine Crockett. It's not even Texas, it's Houston. You know, well, for I godly, if I were you, I would come to Liberia next year on our tour. That's what I would tell you the first time because we'll be here for 10 days and you're going to see all the sites, everything like that, even places where you can invest at, whatever like that, all in 10 days, 4 different resorts, 10 days, city tour, business conference, everything. So if you're really interested in coming with us next February, you could basically, let me put my email up. You can inbox me, on my email about this tour to Liberia next year. That's my email, nation.call5@gmail.com. If you're interested in more information about our tour coming up in February of 2026, contact me. That's what I would suggest for your first time going to Liberia. Go on a tour. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Go on a tour is the best thing you could do. If your first time going to a country, first time traveling, go on a tour. After about 1 or 2 tours, then I think you got it. Yeah, of course the Africans think about targeting black middle class, mostly black male middle class. Black male middle class. And I know that's going to be quick work. Also, tonight I want to do something really special. I want to talk about history tonight. Not black history, but the white history. When you send me the email, send me. I'll have your email, but send me your phone number, your full name, first and last name, your phone number, so I can forward over to the tour director for the tour, Brother Bamani Tayamba. I'll send you. I got to send you his information. We have a list of people who are planning on going. and we'll tell you where you can make your deposit and stuff like that, make the payments, so you pay the balance. So it's $4,500. That includes airfare, hotels, meals, everything. You don't have to do nothing when you get here except for the spending cash that you want to say you want to go out to the club or you want to buy some souvenirs, something like that. That's on you. But $4,500 covers all your expenses, everything. You have your transportation, your travel, everything that you need to go on this tour. So now. Yeah, South Africa. Well, Africa needs our help. That's what it needs. Wise. Let's not give up on the continent. Africa needs our help. On contrast, Liberia is very, very peaceful. This is a very, very peaceful country. Despite not having much, but Liberia is a very peaceful country. You don't have to fear about violence or robbery and shit like that here. Some people are just blessed and lucky to be peaceful. Some countries, no matter what they do, it's like a cancer, like Brazil. I don't think they could ever solve crime in Brazil or violence. Like El Salvador, they could. It was a country when the country's culture disintegrates like that. There's nothing you could do. Liberia's never reached that point where their culture disintegrated to the point of past with no return. That's what I'm talking about tonight, folks. Now we're in El Salvador, the culture disintegrated to the point where people were so lawless and uncivilized, uncultured that they had to take drastic measures. But drastic measure was people have to lose some of their liberties. You know, Brazil crime is everywhere, princess. Brazil crime is everywhere. Stop with this crime in some places. The only places that no crime is like the lily white areas of Brazil that where you or black ass won't be able to go to. Let's stop it. Stop the cap. Bro, stop it. Brazil have high tourism, like South Africa. Yeah, South Africa has tourism. That's a whole thing about tourism. And Brazil has a bunch of reason. You want to be frank? You want me to be frank? Are you ready to handle the truth? Can you handle the truth? The problem is Brazil is a country that has so much immorality. They make a bunch of bastard babies all over the place. People of mixed race. They have no foundation in any particular culture and everything. So the gangster culture basically is where that thrives. The criminal culture is where that thrives. The culture of not having a racial identity or a cultural identity or a historical identity is where, what you call it, that crime thrives. That's what you have in Brazil. That's what you had in El Salvador. El Salvador, that's what you have in Mexico. And so all these countries that you see high crime is because the people don't know who they are. You don't know who they are. If you really want to know. Say Haiti's getting like that right now. The only thing that basically that's what hold on. People go down to Brazil for one thing, bro. Sex. People go down to Brazil because you can get your freak on and sex. That's all. They ain't going there for the culture. They ain't going there for nothing else other than free sex. That's it. Easy sex. That's all, Principe. Tourists. Brazil is one of the sex tourism capitals of the world. It's becoming like that thing, bro. The thing is, the world has let the ghetto ass culture dominate the world too long, and we lose our civilization. When you let the ghetto culture and the ghetto mentality, the ghetto justice system, and all that stuff like that, the ghetto mentality take over, that you will lose your civilization. That's what happened in South Africa. That's what happened in Brazil. It hasn't happened in Nigeria yet. It hasn't happened in Ghana yet. It hasn't happened in Liberia yet. The only place on the African continent that has happened so far is South Africa. South Africa, as I can think of, maybe somebody else would come tell me something like that. Oh, the Congo. The Congo and South Africa are two of the most lawless countries in the world. Why? Because they've been conquered, they've been defeated. When people's spirits are broken, when that Brazil is what you get, El Salvador is what you get, South Africa is what you get. High crime, lawlessness, disrespect for the rule of law and governance and everything like that. Well, I would say like this. Italy has a mob, right? And they're really dangerous. But the bottom line is this. Italy has never lost control over their country, the civilization to the mob. There's always been a balance. They're there. You got to deal with them. But the bottom line is it was kept balanced. But when you talk about countries like Mexico, where the cartels actually run the country, the cartels actually call them the shots, like Colombia, the Medellin cartels and whatnot. That's when you lost your civilization. A lot of black people love Colombia because it's lawless. It's immoral. It's lawless. That's why we like countries like that. Yeah, the mob has some sort of structure. Well, we don't want to go to countries where there's crime. Crime is not cool. But I can compare Congo to South Africa because the violence in South Africa is about to compare to the Congo. Principally, Black South Africa is no different from any other part of Africa, really. There's areas that Black people dominate in when I like where the cities and parts of the informal settlements like Soweto and stuff like that. But other than that, and the average rural Black person in South Africa lives the same way as somebody in the Congo would. Hand to mouth, almost hunting and gathering. So that's how I can say that. There's nothing spectacular about South Africa, other than the fact that they have a white economy and whatnot, and they had to employ a large numbers of Black people. As a result, there was a Black middle class created, Other than that, there ain't no difference between South Africa and the Congo. Take the white people out of South Africa, and South Africa will send right into the Congo. South Africa will become the Congo. Take all the white man, take all his industries, take all his banks, take all his stock, take his global connection and everything like that in South Africa, and you got the Congo. That is the truth. That is the truth. So if you like South Africa and whatnot, you go there. The perks of South Africa is you got a large white population there. That keeps you safe because white people love law and order. They love infrastructure. They love all these things. They love accountability, stuff like that. They like development. So you're in good hands when you go to a white country, like a country that has a large number of white people. That's just true. This is the truth. So the country, I don't know about living there, but I know Gabon has one of the highest per capita income. I would think Namibia is a nice country. Namibia is a nice country. Namibia is a really nice country. Oh yeah, okay. Principe, man. More investment, more coordination in South Africa through strong military. Yeah, right. More development stuff. South Africa is a lost cause, bro. I hate to say it. The only thing saving South Africa is the white population. And the sad part about it is the biggest problem about South Africa is the white population. So it's like a conundrum. You need the white population, everything they bring to the table. At the same time, they are the friggin' problems of unstable of a country. You know. Eddie Thorne, you got any evidence of that? Them paying colonial taxes? Monrovia was developing in Liberia is the areas outside the airport. There's a lot of areas out there, the new developments going on, new cities being built, and everything outside of Monrovia. Pretty soon, when those areas start building their own shopping centers, malls, movie theaters, and everything, people wouldn't need to go to Monrovia for any particular reason. You know, you're like 15 miles away from Monrovia by the airport. You know, and that whole area right there in Marshall and stuff like that, going near Harbel, is really a lot of development going on there. You know, brand new communities being built, brand new gated communities being built. So yeah, Liberia is a hot country, you know, but Monrovia is crowded. You know, it really is overcrowded. Too many people here. You know, that's my assessment. Now, if you're rich, are you a lot of money? If you a little boss, if you have a lot of money, well, of course you can live in downtown Monrovia. You can get a condo, or apartment, a flat, what they call them, whatnot. You know, live in a penthouse. Yeah, you can go to downtown Monrovia and live a really good life if you got that type of money. You got downtown Monrovia money. You know. Yeah, that Vice thing was made like 15 years ago by a bunch of geeks and nerds and whatnot. Didn't know nothing about the country. Just said this country was founded by white people. The country was not founded by white people. You know, they made it seem like white people founded it and gave it over to black people and they ruined it. That's a the white supremacist narrative of Liberia. You know, no, Liberia was fine until 1980 when that coup happened. You know, Liberia was a country on the move up until 1980. It had the highest fast growth rate in the world. You know, so that Vice, I saw that thing, man. I was like, that's disgraceful. You don't listen to freaking Vice. That's a danger about the internet. People put stuff online without being fact checked, without being verified, whatever like that. And people sit there and watch it, get thousands of views, and people believe this nonsense. You know. When I saw that Vice thing, I could look at it and say, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Somebody who's a scholar of Liberia. So you're telling me, Eddie Thorne, that Burkina Faso is even still paying taxes, colonial taxes? Then why is everybody telling me Ibrahim Traore is a great leader? I mean, Rihanna got a song out. Have you guys heard Rihanna's song about Ibrahim Traore? You know, I think we should play it. It's a pretty good song. You know, you'll like it. I don't own the rights to this song.
Ibrahim, Ibrahim, Ibrahim Traore. Yeah, Ibrahim Traore. Strong leader, never slow, no way. All your enemies fall when they hear his name. He stands tall in the game. Burkina Faso, feel the pride. Power flows like a rising tide. Strong, real king, put respect on his name. History shining in flames. They see him rise, never fall. Lead the fight, stand up tall. Say his name, say it loud. Ibrahim, Ibrahim, Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim, Ibrahim, Ibrahim Traore. Oh yeah, they can't stop him, no way. Ibrahim, Ibrahim, Ibrahim Traore. Stronger, leading every day. Oh, never back down, stand up high. Oh, real power never dies. Oh, Ibrahim,
I said this is fair use.
Ibrahim Traore. No fake stays on top. All enemies talk, but they stop. Power moves, no time to flop. Crown stays high, never drop. Burkina Faso rise up fast. New wave, we make it last. Stronger, no retreat, no going back. Oh no, he got the strength they lack. Ibrahim Traore, yeah. Ibrahim Traore. They owe you his name, no play. Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore still stands tall every day. So, Ibrahim Traore. Woo! Big moves, no fear all day. Ibrahim Traore. They can't stop you. Oh, we don't stop, we won't break. Lead the fight, shake the game. Ibrahim Traore.
Who cares if it's AI or not? I like Rihanna. I care less. Rihanna can be doing anything. She can be taking a piss for all I care, man. I'll watch it. I love Rihanna. You know, that's what Riri. I love Riri. You know. But yeah, so we're talking about tonight. Where's the best suitable African country, right? Because a lot of people been faking the funk lately, man. I was listening to me and my good brother Diamond Samir show yesterday, right? It seems that people are basically trying to, like I said, it's not even about investment. If Black America turns its attention to a country, like perfect example what I'm talking about, right? Is the people of Lesotho are feeling some sort of way because Donald Trump never heard of Lesotho, right? Nobody ever. I did because I'm a Pan African. I have to know these things, right? But what you call it? No one ever heard of Lesotho. Now Lesotho is feeling some sort of way now. They're feeling funny about it, saying, "Wait a minute, what do you mean? You tell me these Africans understand something? Nobody knows you exist. I don't tell some African dumbass. Nobody ever in America knows where the Gambia is at. Nobody ever heard of your country." Hey, we Gambians. Nobody knows who the fuck you are. We know the Lesothos in South Africa, but we're saying is the vast majority of people, or Chuko, I got video out there where the Igbos are denouncing the Igwes. You know, the Igwes are kings, whatever like that, who are kissing the ring of the Sokoto, you know, and they're saying down with the Igwes in Igbo land right now. So Chuko calls himself an Igwe. You know, he might be on his way out. You know, sad situation. You know, I know Lesotho's in South Africa. What I'm saying is, why would an average white American know where Lesotho is? Why would they care? Do we do any business there? Does America do any business there? No. Anything is strategic or important in Lesotho? Of course not. We have to get some of these countries have to get over their self. We're a sovereign state. Okay, you're a state the size of my friggin' backyard. Talking about I'm a sovereign state, Lesotho, man. Because you can't be mad about that. Look, those people from Lesotho. Look, no offense, but nobody ever heard of you. You know, but I've heard of you because I'm a Black nationalist, Pan Africanist, or African geopolitician, whatever like that. So I've heard of you in Lesotho. I know your story. You know, I know about Swaziland and Tube land, Swaziland. I know all these kingdoms inside the Republic of South Africa territory. But the bottom line, don't expect somebody like at least the president of the United States, right, who got more on his plate, to know what a friggin' a place like Lesotho is, and don't get offended. You're a small, insignificant country. The more insignificant you are, the less people know about you. No one even people say, "Oh, they're coming up even to Hawaii." The majority of Americans or State Department never heard of Burkina Faso. They don't know what the hell's going on. Don't even know what the hell that. Well, Burkina Faso, what kind of food is that? No, it's a country. Oh, it's a country. Oh, okay. So stop thinking yourself is so important. You're important when Black America says you're important. We put Ghana on the map. In the 70s, we put Nigeria, South Africa, the Congo. We put the DR Congo, then Zaire on the map with the Ali Foreman fight. Black America is going to decide what countries gets recognized and everything as we do more business. Kenya is becoming on the map because a lot of Black Americans going there and everything like that. Every country that's inviting Black Americans, as long as we there, the country will have a profile. I hope to raise the profile of Liberia. Look at Mari Shai like, oh Lord, Mari, come on, my sister. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. Now, you guys that love Salone, Sierra Leone, you got a little put more work into that. Hopefully, Prince Dinas Kamir could come together and post something more. But right now, no one knows who Salone is. Sierra Leone is. Nobody knows who that is. It's a nice country though. It's a real nice country. Beautiful country, but nobody knows who he at. So don't get offended when somebody says Sierra Leone. Who ever heard of that? No one did. Only certain Black people in the Pan-African ever heard of these countries. No? You're like, Kala, how can you say such? I'm just telling you the truth, I hope Afro Dumbass is listening to this, right? Nobody ever heard of the Gambia, Afro Dumbass, Nobody ever heard of Igbo land, No one knows what Igbo land is in Nigeria, Chukwu. You're not important. You never contributed anything to the world. You never made any significant advances. So no one knows who you are, So it is what it is, And I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, I know passions are raised and people got their own little shithole they're trying to uphold. Country they're trying to uphold and whatnot. But I get it, But just don't get upset when somebody say, "Yeah, I never heard of your country before," I'm gonna have a show one day. Rep your shithole. Rep your shithole. And it ain't gonna be just Africa, right? I'm gonna extend that to in America, right? All you Philly Negroes, whatnot, you get a chance to rep your shithole. Rep your shithole. You Newark Negroes, rep your shithole. You New York City Negroes, rep your shithole. Rep your shithole. Detroit niggas, rep your shithole. Rep your shithole. Memphis niggas, rep your shithole. Rep your shithole. So we're gonna take it all the way across to Nairobi, Kenya, rep your shithole. Rep your shithole. Salone. Sierra Leone, Salone. Rep my shithole. Nigeria. Omo, Niger. Rep my shithole. I'm not projecting nothing, Chupo, Chupo, man, when the time comes, when you do a rep your shithole, you just got to be talking about Igbo land. My name is Igwe, the king of Igbo land, whatnot. I'm repping my shithole. Boom, 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 boom. Zigga, 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 zigga. Break it on down. Rep your shithole. Zigga, 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 zigga. Rep your shithole. And then when you start making songs like that, then that comes a hit song, then people will recognize your country, Imagine we did a Rep Your Shithole for Lesotho, and it became a #1 hit. Rep your shithole. And it went viral when then Trump wouldn't have said something like, what you ever heard this country before? Said, oh yeah, that country that said the song, Rep Your Shithole. Lesotho. Lesotho. Rep your shithole, Now, you got to understand something. You never be drinking any water when you listen to College Genesis because the humor is going to hit you like that. You end up choking or spitting your water out, or your drink out your mouth, So be careful when drinking when listening to the show. That's just a word of warning. I want nobody choking on me. But I'm here in LIB, Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia. I tell you what, I love this country. Gee, man, you have no sense of humor. Jeez, calm down, man. Jeez, man. You have no sense of humor. And we all, at one time, came from a shithole. Hell, I come from South Jamaica, Queens, man. That was like the worst part of New York City. Shit, I don't shame my game, man. I'll say rep my shithole. Rep my shithole. South Jamaica, Queens, like God just took a huge shit, man, and forgot to wipe his ass with it. Yeah, man, the illegal aliens have taken New York, man, and just ran it to the ground, man. I mean, that was once a beautiful city. I look at New York, the stuff we used to have Flushing Meadow, Queens, that big ball with the 60 from the '64 World Fair, and Flushing Meadow, Queens, and whatnot. It was like so futuristic. I look at the '64 World's Fair. Should I play videos from the '64 World's Fair in Flushing, Queens? This is my parents had their first date. My parents had their first date at the World's Fair in Flushing, Queens. '64 World's Fair. Let's play something. Let's have some fun tonight. World's Fair.
Still a long way off. Yet I knew that each of them was tucking away bits and pieces of what they were hearing in those special places in children's minds reserved for prominent delight.
I always wondered where that globe came from.
I
A big
told them
globe
of
in
a
Flushing
giant
Meadow
globe
Park, right?
called the Unisphere,
And that globe
of the
was from the
little
'64
cars
World's
that would
Fair.
take them
Before I was
all
born.
over the fair, of the place where real helicopters would land, of the Red Umbrella Building, and of the giant tire that was really a Ferris wheel. So off they went, each with a pajama pocket filled with dreams that had to wait until April 22nd.
In 1964 and 65, the greatest metropolis of the 20th century hosted a World's Fair. It was not like the celestial utopia of Chicago's fair in 1893, nor was it even like the celestial world of tomorrow that marked New York 1939. This was New York 1964, the celestial strip mall, sprawling and noisy, a jumble of art, commerce, and entertainment that somehow turned chaos into a charm. And where else could Michelangelo, Walt Disney, and General Motors share the same stage at the same time with Casey Stengel as the sideshow? And where else could a waffle from Belgium provide the principal memory for fairgoers? Only in New York, and only at the 1964 New York World's Fair. The idea for the 1964 New York World's Fair began with Robert Koppel, a man who ran a voice recording booth at the 1939 fair. Koppel had met the world during the 1939 fair and wanted to give his two daughters that chance too. Koppel enlisted the support of New York business and political leaders. On August 10, 1959, Mayor Robert Wagner announced that New York would play host to the world's biggest, most expensive World's Fair ever, a $500 million 2-year affair at Flushing Meadow in Queens.
And we invite all of our friends throughout the United States, Canada, from all parts of the world to come and visit this great fair. At that time, we will have open our great new Lincoln Center, which will be the cultural center of the world. Our new arterial highways will make it easier to get to the fair, and once you are at the fair, I know it will be an experience that all Americans and all visitors will be proud of and think of for many years.
The fair organizing committee picked as its president 71-year-old Parks Commissioner Robert Moses, who by the 1950s had already presided over massive physical changes in New York and who had worked on the 1939 fair. During his career, Moses built Jones Beach and other parks, highways, playgrounds, and 100,000 units of public and private housing. Now, he would plan and see to conclusion the most elaborate World's Fair ever staged.
Well, physically, it will look not unlike the 1939, 1940 fair, only better, bigger, taller buildings, same space.
The late 1950s and early 1960s was a time of unprecedented economic strength in America. Middle-class families moved from the cities into the leafy suburbs, where they could raise their children amid the safety of their lawns and ranch houses. The development of new highways and jet aircraft made going places easy and cheap. The optimism and suburban values radiated by President Dwight D. Eisenhower and the 1960 election of the youthful President John F. Kennedy gave planners an almost surreal vision of a perfect America on which to stage the 1964 New York World's Fair.
When you think of the 1964 World's Fair, you think of the 60s and you think of the youth culture. Well, this was not a fair of the youth culture, and in some ways it wasn't even a fair of the 60s. It was in many ways a fair of the 50s and that post-war economic corporate boom. And so when you talk about some of the displays and you think about issues like ecology, the fair not only didn't present these new ideas, they
no, Chuko. It's the fact that I was born in Queens, right? This is what I knew. My parents went to the 64 World's Fair as teenagers, their first date. That's very much a part of my life, my culture. You know, I'm from Queens. I was born in Jamaica, Queens. That's where the 64 World's Fair was. And there was just as many black people there. Almost everybody there was black, whatever like that, white, whatever like that. Queens is a very cosmopolitan, New York City is a very cosmopolitan place. Well, we didn't have that black-white thing like you do in the rest of the country and everything like that. Black and white, we went to school together since the 1910s, 1920s, you know? So the bottom line is we had nice communities at that time. White people had communities at that time. So don't play, you know, no, 50, that's another thing, brother. I mean, people think that when they think of Queens, they think of 50 Cent. 50 Cent don't represent Queens. You know, do you know South Jamaica, Queens, and Jamaica Queens is the largest black middle class in the world? More home ownership than any other. The black middle class is has the biggest middle class in the world. Matter of fact, it was the largest middle class in New York City. You know, it was bigger than Bensonhurst. It was bigger than Roosevelt, Long Island. And what's the other place? Levittstown, everything. Black people had tens of thousands of homes that they owned from the 1940s to the 1980s in South Jamaica, Queens, Southeast Queens, going out to Long Island, Hempstead. My aunt lives in Hempstead, going out to Amityville, Islip, Central Islip, Sag Harbor, all Baldwin, Nassau County, all those are high black enclaves and everything like that. So when they had the 64 War Fair, the huge black middle class was shown up there doing everything. So when people say, the white man's cheap, when people have this idea of black people living in the ghetto, we've always had nice communities in America for hundreds of years, you know. Yeah, black people who own homes in New York City were well off. That was the thing. Yeah, majority of community, about a good 2/3 of Black America own homes and they're well off. That's why you can never do anything about poverty in Black America. Because as long as the majority of Black people are actually doing good, you can't make the case for any sort of really social change. As long as the majority of Black people are eating or really doing good, and then you got a large percentage minority that's actually thriving. So there's a lot of nuances in Black America. That's why you can't just unite like Principe wants, because not everybody is going through the same thing. You might be on your block going through one thing, and people down the street, their reality is different than yours. You don't know. So you get the ones that come together on just the fact that you're both Black. That don't work. Just like what I was telling you when I was a kid. Where the most the hatest time is when Mr. Softy came around with his ice cream truck. Let's see if I can find Mr. Softy truck. We're playing videos tonight, right? So you're heading up for 64 World's Fair. That's my time. That was my parents' time when they were teenagers, like 4 years before I was born. Let's see, Mr. Softy. Sometimes that sound right there is hated. Yeah, I know. Brewer is actually this area is a Guy Brewer and actually pretty nice. I come from Guy Brewer. That's where I come from. I come from 124 in Guy Brewer. 124 in Guy Brewer. 50 Cent comes from just not even around the corner from where I grew up. Those are nice houses, especially when they renovate them in the 90s. The house was older. It was an old section of New York, but a lot of Black people lived there and whatnot for generations. In the 80s and the 90s, they started remodeling homes. Some of the homes are brand new. There are whole strips of homes that were torn down and built up. So many people act like this bringing, 50 was running around. Yeah, we had a lot of thugs and criminals and everything like that. Let me tell you something before I get to this video, right? There's this myth going around, like you said, people. Let me let you all think about Big Meech, right? Big Meech is a middle-class Negro. Most of the drug dealers and kingpins came from Black middle-class families. And all they wanted was to continue that lifestyle that they saw their parents work for, that they didn't want to work for. So they thought they could do an easy way out. The crime and drugs was not driven by poverty. That's another one. If you think that, you don't know anything about Black America. Crime and drugs is not driven by poverty. It's driven by greed. I have no idea about that truth. All I know is when Mr. Softy came in our neighborhood, if you had money, you were at line up in the truck. And that was a status symbol. Big Chico must know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I come from Queens. I know. I knew Fat Cat Nichols and all these clowns and whatnot. These dudes were middle class kids. Family had jobs, had good jobs in the city and everything like that. But they chose again. My cousin Lenny was a kingpin in Queens. Family, Uncle Jimmy, man, worked hard, man. My Uncle Jimmy worked hard and whatnot. But he wanted to go. He wanted to be a big boy and whatnot. Truco was a clown. Truco was a clown. So let me finish playing Mr. Softy. This was like a real trying time, man, because Mr. Softy came around. If you didn't have no money and you was broke, Eddie Murphy said about the ice cream truck. I'm gonna play Eddie Murphy. Where Eddie Murphy said when the ice cream man came around, it showed you we went out to ice cream truck and Japan. And I was sad. Nobody wanted to be in the broke before. So Mr. Softy came around. I was like, oh man, here we go again. And so when I used to hate when my father, right, would pull up, and you hear that sound right there, that ice cream is being made, and when you just sitting there just drinking it, man, I want me an ice cream cone, I want me a shake, I want me a sundae, when that, said my father said, I want a banana split. My father said, banana what? Boy, if you don't get out of here, you will never see no banana split, But I said, at least want an ice cream cone. I want an ice cream cone. I want an ice cream cone. And my father would go inside, get me those pull out those nasty freeze pops, those little fruity freeze pops and whatnot, and start passing them out and whatnot. I'd be like, man, well, $1.25, it was like $2, and $2 was a lot of money back then to us. When your money's coming from your parents. I wouldn't have a job. If you're 12 years old, whatnot, that was something. If you had allowance and whatnot, if you got back then allowance when I was a kid, allowance was like $10 a week, and if you can save your allowance, you can get some Mr. Softy. But we spent our allowance up all around the neighborhood all day, and basically you didn't have no money for Mr. Softy. So I want to know, those kids had money or they was basically smart with them? I think the kids were smart with their money, because you see the same kids come out there. You see cute little light skinned Latoya. She's out here with her cone with Jarcavius, and they're walking away like a cute couple. We're not looking on ice cream cones, or you got the other girl Jasmine. She got her little banana split float, whatever like that. And you're sitting there with a damn freeze pop from my father. I'm like, man, god damn, man. But we did graduate to Carvel. We used to go to Carvel, and we graduated to the Flying Saucer, Carvel's Flying Saucer. That was a step up. I never did Mr. Softy. I didn't get Mr. Softy until I was a teenager, until I was 15. And why? Because I had worked my summer job. And when I came to the city, by the end of the summer, I spent the rest of the summer in the city one night. I was so proud when I was 15, but I still wanted that when I was 8 and 9. I was 15. I was able to walk up there, pull out a wad of cash or whatnot. Give me this, give me that. Chupo, if you ask me one more ignorant fucking question like this, Chupo's a fucking ignorant. This way, you gotta get your black trash out of here, Yeah, don't ask me stupid questions, We came out there, whoever Mr. Salter was. Sometimes they were black guys, sometimes they were Jewish guys, sometimes they were white guys. Who the hell cares? We're above that stupid race shit. We didn't have that shit when I was growing up. We didn't care about that. Yeah, white guys are coming to our community all the time. We're not selling shit. We're not, we didn't give a fuck, So I don't know what the hell this Chupo talk about. I am not a fucking racist. I am not one of these clowns that you see all the time. I had a normal life. I was around normal people. I just happen to love my people more, and I want to build my own people. Don't mean that I didn't have relation. I have normal relationship with other people. White, black, Chinese, whatever like that. All my whole entire life, I had teachers that were white. The teachers that would take me to their house and whatnot. Just that thing. Basketball coaches, whatever like that. I had most black kids in the inner city always had white people around them and stuff like that. That's just being part of New York. So I don't know what Chuco was talking about. Chuco's an idiot. I think Chuco's just trolling. If I find out he's trolling, I can't prove it yet. If I find out he's trolling, he's gone for good. I don't tolerate trolls. People ask stupid questions like that. Would you buy it for a white person? Who the fuck cares if the person's purple? He's on Mr. Softy truck. See, he tries to make Chuco's whole idea is trying to make black people America look like they're ignorant. Like we're stupid. What you need to ask Chuko is why is your country Nigeria letting the white man suck oil out of your ground and you're giving you nickels and dimes for it? That's what you need to worry about, you know? Well, I find out who the trolls are. As a matter of fact, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna introduce more mods. You know, my mods have one thing goal is get rid of trolls. I'm at point now. When we get 1,000 subscribers, we won't need people coming in the chat room anymore. We just get rid of them. I want a productive chat. You know, I'll think about it, Dark Mingo, because you've been a loyal follower, man. You know. Now, Princess, why you call Eddie Long? Man, come on, that's not right. That is not right. I have no idea why they come here benefiting from a civilization that we built. You know, there will be no black community in America if it was not for us. They come down here trying to look down on us. They had nothing to look. They should be looking up to us, when because look where they come from. They come from shithole countries like fucking Chukwu. You know, Nigeria is an embarrassment to the fucking human race. You know, that's an outright embarrassment. So is Haiti. All these places are fucking embarrassments, but they fucking got so much advice for us and shit like that. That's why I say, me personally, brothers, you know, I'm not no ADOS FBA, you know. Mayor Giuliani didn't save New York. You know, that's another lie. New York was not saved by no Giuliani. He did certain things and everything that improved certain things as far as crime and everything. But New York always had that vibrant culture that was always there, you know. I remember the funniest time I ever had in New York was a ball dropping in 1987. Giuliani wasn't mayor then. Everybody, black, white, everybody's down there in Times Square just singing and dancing and fucking saluting the New Year when the door for 1987. I'll never forget. That was really me and my brother, me and my boys. We made it down to the city just in time. We was on the George Washington Bridge. We saw the ball come down. By the time we got down there, all the confetti was on the ground and whatnot. You seen white businessmen hanging out with black kids and whatnot. You got black girls that were models and whatnot hanging around with just ordinary people and everybody's down there just high fiving, you know, drinking and just having a good time celebrating New Year. Man, that's the New York I grew up in, you know. And of course, we go back to our own communities and hate each other and whatnot. But we used to come together in games like the Yankees when the Yankees were playing the Dodgers and whatnot. Black people and white people united in the city. I was like, boy, we want the Yankees to win. We love Reggie Jackson and stuff like that, you know. So we knew how to pull together as far as like black and white back then, you know. So I don't know what Chukwu was talking about. You know, he don't know nothing about Black America. He goes to his white friends and make it seem like we're just so racist. See these black people, they're so racist, they're so anti-white. Man, you guys are fucking jokes, man, you know? Yeah, Nigeria, I don't know. You know, you gotta pray for our brothers in Nigeria, man. Because they got a bunch of Chukwus running around, you know, there's no hope. You know, you got people like Chukwu, Michael Awale, and that is the face of Nigeria, man. There's no hope, man. Really no hope. Let's play some more of this Mrs. Softy, you know. Burkina soldier. The whole thing is, I'm on code with most of my brothers, right? But I don't consider people like Chuko my brother. That's a problem. Just because somebody's black don't mean they're my brother. You know, all my people that I talk to, I'm on code with like 99% of black men. I'm not on code with friggin' race traders and Uncle Toms. You know, I'm never gonna be on code with no fucking Uncle Tom. We're never gonna agree, whatever like that. They can all go to hell for all I care. You know, so that's never going to happen to all black men. As long if you get black men that all basically see the world the way we see the world and everything like that, you know, as black men, we get along. When you got black people that sit there and see the world through the white man's spectacles and all stuff like that by judging black people, you know, every time that, but they don't have the same judgment for white people though. But it's always us being judged. Them type of black people can go to hell for all I care. The people like the Chukos can go to hell for all I care. But come on, folks, what is a good country to invest in? You know, yeah, shit happens. You know, sometimes you get jacked, sometimes you get robbed, whatever like that. That's part of life, man. You know, we had to deal with that shit. Sometimes, man, the wrong dudes come up to you, and you're gonna get your shit jacked. That's why. But life goes on and whatnot. You know, people get jacked, and next thing you know, they say, "Oh, I'm alive," right? They go back to living, loving the same city. They wouldn't trade New York City for nothing in the world. Ain't no perfect place, you know. In New York, back in the days, was close as you're gonna get to perfect. You know, South Africa is crime all over South Africa, bro. Bantu Mandinka, you're bright and early.
Oh yeah, what's up, man? I just wanted to say that shit was funny. I was laughing when you were saying rep your shit hole.
Yeah, come on, Bantu Mandinka. Yeah,
I was
come on,
laughing.
man. You're from Crenshaw, right? Rip your shithole, man. Come on,
Ah, that
yeah.
shit was funny as
Rip your
fuck, man.
shithole. That Crenshaw, man. Zigga, zigga, zigga. Rip your shithole. Zigga, zigga, zigga. You know? People think I
Uh,
just pick on Africans all the time. When I know, man, I give it to Negroes too. You know,
yeah, they ain't got no sense of humor, man.
you know,
That
people
shit
are like,
was
oh,
funny.
Colin, man, you off the chain, like G, Colin, man, here you go with this nonsense, man. People ain't got to lighten up, man. You know, if we don't have any humor, man, we're gonna lose it, man. You got to have a sense of humor out here. You know,
Yeah, man. I'm from Compton. Rep your shit hole.
I'm telling you, man. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, man. I'm repping that shit all. You know, I'll be honest with you, man.
Yeah,
So it was even you know, so how can you be a middle class community and be a shithole? You know, South Jamaica
yeah,
black middle class, man, but we just let it run to the fucking ground, man. It's like any other black kid. The net value of every house is like a negative and shit, you know? It's like
yeah.
home equity, just for coming here, you owe us $5,000 for coming here running your report, nigga. You know, how do we let that happen? I have no idea, man. You know,
Yeah, it
the
is
black
what
home
it is.
just had parity to white homeowners. But if you look at a neighborhood, if it's 99% black, you just forget it. You know, you know.
Yeah,
So
you know.
if black home ownership right was If it were we don't have a racist society, right? You know how
Uh,
much money Black America would have right now? You know, that means every black person's home would be worth like 10 times what it is. You know how much equity that is? That's literally trillions of dollars. You know,
yeah,
having to live in a majority black neighborhood, the neighborhood could be nice, you know, but the fact
yeah,
that it's majority black because the stereotypes we put out there and the people like Chukwu like to put out there, like we're all gangbangers, we're killers, we're murderers, we're gonna jack your car at night and whatnot, you know, that drives the resale value down. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So tonight it's the
but
same thing, right? We're saying which African country is suitable because the more wherever Africa we focus on, their real estate and their value gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? What got yo all over the internet right now? I know it's a conspiracy. There's all kinds of Negroes online promoting Ghana, come to Ghana, and I say, well, something's not right about all this. You know, you got Art
yeah,
Cap.
it's a lot of people building in Ghana, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're building, but they don't see the finished product though. Okay, you build, right? Okay, I know people are building. They got like 20 different projects like Bomani's, we're building communities, but you never see the end result. I've been seeing this for like a decade, right? They build, we're building, but I never see the end result. And also, when you build houses, right, you got to build something adjacent to it. Where are you going to work at? Where's the industrial zones? Where's the shopping centers? You know, where's the, how do you make your money? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where's the
got
medical centers? You know?
all these stores and yeah, places to go, medical clinics and all that.
All the stuff like that, all the sustainable things of life. So I'm saying to myself, how the hell when I don't hear that, that's something I don't hear. I don't hear about how do you have a quality of life. You know, you can't have a quality of life without medical care. You know, proper medical care. You know, without clinical
Yeah,
care, without all these things that you need. You know,
yeah, that's a lot. That's the main reason why a lot of people don't want to go to Africa because of medical
that's just it.
care.
That's it. That is 99% of it. You know.
Yeah,
So when I hear people talking, they'll say, "I'm building a house." Why don't build a factory? Why don't you build a fucking clinic?
yeah.
Invest in the damn clinic, right? Invest what we get. Why we start getting our insurance? I work in the insurance industry. I would love to see AARP. I'm gonna work on that. But the
You
bottom
know
line,
what that is, though? That's people having an American dream trying to take it to Africa. That's what it is.
they don't understand, man. We got America. You got Medicare.
Yeah,
And the American healthcare system is the best in the world. I work in it. It's the best in the world. We got doctors and clinics per square miles, unreal. You know, you got literally hundreds of doctors per square mile. Your clinics and medical centers, surgical centers, everything here. Research centers, everything like that here. Now what could happen now is more and more people could have clinics and when that on remote. That remote learning and remote procedures and stuff like that. I don't even see that being happening. I'm like, yo, look, so let's say God forbid you need a surgery over there. What do you got to do? Ghana just opened a black African American guy, the locust group, opened up a surgical center in Ghana. But is it near anything? You know what I'm saying? If the black people go to Ghana, they concentrated on one area, right? They concentrated on one area, right? Within the same like was 10 square miles, right? If all those
yeah,
speeding with 10 square miles, we can get something done. But everybody's all over the fucking place. No development, you know what I'm saying? Everybody doing their own thing. Don't tell me nothing. It shows you how black people are divided, you know what I'm saying? We can't even go to Africa and get together.
yeah. I mean, if we can't get together here, I don't know what make you think you want Africa and get together. So,
I thought once we get rid of the white man, we're over ourselves. And when you tell you Africa is even worse, man. We're even more disunited on the continent, man.
uh, uh, so I
You better
don't.
see.
What country? I don't know which one to invest in, man. It's all up in the air.
Yeah, I would say anybody just take a tour over there. This right now, this should be the exploring phase. Don't let anybody let you settle in any country right now. Don't let anybody tell you any country right now because they're all basically out one thing, trying to build themselves up. When they can get black people convinced that their country is the number one country, we'll go there. Like, did you see what Donald Trump said about Lesotho?
Nah, let me see it.
Donald Trump said he was saying making a point about Lesotho, right? He said this is a country nobody ever heard of.
Yeah.
And the people in Soto are freaking mad, man. They're feeling some sort of way. What do you mean you never heard of us? I was like, say to myself, yeah, exactly. Except me, I know these countries: Swaziland, Lesotho, Tswane,
Yeah,
whatever
I
the name
mean,
is.
people like us, we know, but most people
Yeah,
they
but the
don't give
average
a
person, they
fuck.
don't know it. Like I try to tell Afro dumbass, nobody ever heard of your country, the Gambia. Nobody heard that
Hell
shit.
no. I ain't even heard of that shit until Art Cathy was on fucking YouTube talking about the
I
Gambia
knew about the
shit.
Gambia because of Kunta Kinte.
Oh
Those
yeah, well,
roots.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Knowledge speaker. I'm not complaining. I think what they doing is amazing, but I'm just saying.
no, look, there's nothing wrong with building, but you got to have an end goal if you want me to get involved, right? Colin has built anything he's complaining. I'm not complaining about building, but I'm just saying, look, we're wasting a lot of energy because what's going to happen is people going to get burned out and saying, man, I was trying to build in Africa. He was trying to build, we didn't got it yet because you guys weren't doing it right. That's what I'm worried about. People getting burnt out and saying, nah, it ain't going to work. No, it could work, but you guys don't want to work together. You guys don't have a plan. And let's be honest with you, a lot of these guys, man, aren't the sharpest tools in the shed, in the Pan African movement. They're not the smartest people. Yeah, a couple of people like this guy Dollar Bill was showing me that so friggin' guy that had a sustainable community, and everything like that. But what gets me is let's say I want to build a community in Liberia, right? Let's say there was another African American brother. He already had it all laid down. He had irrigation, solar panels, wind farm, all the stuff like that. He had everything. And I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go do my thing over here. I'm saying, look, how can I build my community adjacent to yours and be tethered to your community? So we're together. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a smart thing to do.
Yeah. Well, how can I have roads? How can we connect our roadway system together? Maybe we could build a light railway system that we could run through the both properties or areas. When we're gonna start paving and putting down culverts and sewer lines. Let's work on that together. So let's be in the same vicinity. That's what I would do. That's my mentality. I said, I don't care about who gets the credit when I want to be over there. I'm doing my own thing. You got these people that Bomani has a community, right? And then they all rush off to Sabo when I'm going to Sabo, blah, blah. Well, why don't you guys be working together? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. That's what people talking about black unity, man. So like, go jump in the lake. Man. So I've seen too much about you.
Yeah, it's one of those
Uh,
things.
Princess says, Kala Comfy over there. I think the library in South Africa. Yes, it is. It's safer. I can go out my hotel room, go out for a night stroll, and not worry about being jacked, shot, and hung, and kidnapped, and went out for ransom and some of everything else. That's what happens in South Africa on a daily basis. I don't have to worry about that. Let me get in Dama. Dama, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know where Dama is. He's asleep and probably dream up one of his goofy Nigerian fantasies.
Hey, Damo, rep your
Hey, what's up,
shithole,
caller?
man.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. My whole thing is this. I'm noticing that because I'm just starting to get into TikTok, and there's a sister over there that's spitting like a lot of game when it comes to like geopolitics over there.
Who?
Her name is
Art
it's
Kathy?
something Williams. You might want to consider linking up with her. Hold on.
No,
Let me go look her up really fast. Hold on.
let me see it, man. Look, a lot of these people, man. Man. I've been across a lot of them, and I try to link with them, and they're all full of shit. I'm about the real thing. I'm over here doing the real work and whatnot. My organization, and a lot of people, when it comes down to it, they talk all good and everything. When you try to call them up and follow up, they don't answer their call. It was all good when you're online talking and stuff like that. When you try to get them to do something or work with them on something, they're absent. The only person I've ever worked with somebody that ever came to fruition was Bomani. We put that tour together when it took us 2 years to do it, and it was a success. Bomani's a real thing. I'll say it to anybody. Bomani's a real thing.
Yeah, her name is Miko Williams. Collie, you might want to go check her out. But I noticed that
He said
why
Miko
is it that
Williams.
there's so many men on YouTube but there's no women on here. Like usually, like in this stream, like there's very few
Well,
women on here. But I
women,
noticed it's a lot of women on TikTok.
because TikTok is short. All you do is do a few second video and just talk off the top, you
Yeah,
know.
but they be doing like long live streams over there. They be going
Man,
live for an hour and a half, 2 hours and stuff talking about stuff.
also TikTok is easily monetized. You know, so when people buy those flowers and stuff like that, that's
Yeah,
money. You know, so that's why they do it. Whatnot. But YouTube takes a lot. It takes a lot to build a channel like this, right? You know, because you got to pay for this. After a certain amount of days, you got to pay for it, and then you don't get monetized, so you get 1,000 subscribers. You know, that takes a lot of work, man. You know, you have a certain amount of hours, a lot of time. You saw me how long my shows be, right? And
yeah,
so YouTube is designed for people who are in it for the long haul. You know, yeah, you're not gonna see women do YouTube, but you see them on TikTok. You know, it's easy just to load up a TikTok, go live anytime you want to, off the top of your head, run about stuff. Especially if you're a female, if you're halfway good looking, you know, you're gonna get people to just stop by. You know, even listen, a lot of times they're looking at what you look like. They don't care what you say. You know, he said Miko Williams. Williams.
yeah. Well, but I noticed it's a lot of not just black women, but it's a lot of black folks over there in general doing a lot of interesting things. Like there's so many black farmers on TikTok. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, you know, like I said, people put their stuff up, you know, on TikTok. I mean, I mean, with some. Yeah, I just want to see it all come together one time. You know, I want to say why we got farmers and we got people talking about we got people starving in Nigeria. You know, something's not right. You know, why we got food prices? Why we Africa still importing everything? You know, something's not right. Something's not coordinating together. You know, so we need to get that stuff together. You know, it's not good to have farming pride and everything, but we really got to get to the point where we're actually trying to accomplish something that's other than just being vain in vanity, saying, "Oh, I got a farming pride." Some people do is they take a picture on a tractor and whatnot, and they put it out there. Oh, I'm a black farmer when I haven't farmed nothing, but hey, I look good in these overalls, though. You know, but it is what it is. But that's what our community is, man. Our community is like all for show. But I would say they're not, but I want to see some results. I want to see manufacturing. I want to see food processing. I just found out today there was a lot of black-owned food companies in America that can everything from lima beans to green peas, whatever like that. You know, I'm saying to myself, man, we building an African. I said, shit, man. Don't you think those companies will have first dibs on the market, supermarkets? You know, so yeah, we do got black people who manufacture shit in this country. You know, still people that's a little known fact. We do got black people who manufacture stuff. You know, in America. I always tell
No,
people,
no, it's true. But like I said, I'm just looking at like I'm just starting to get into TikTok, so it's something I'm just starting to explore. But it's a lot of our people over there, man. And today they was talking a lot about bricks and you know, are you still trying to get the African stand down
of course,
going?
that's why I left. That's why I dedicated my life to. Of course.
Okay, you might want to consider land in hold on. There's hold on, let me look it up. There's land in it's in Egypt. It's called
I don't want no land in Egypt, bro. Our
no,
land is
it's
African
by
black
Egypt. Hold on,
Africans. So
let me look it up.
I
It's
know
called
the northeastern part of Egypt, right? But a little white girl basically built a little kingdom there. A little white American girl built a little kingdom there. Father purchased land and created a whole little country over there. You know, unclaimed land. You know, so no, we're looking at this
yeah,
project.
it's called hold on, Kala. It's in the southern part and
Yeah, I
it's
know
not
that.
part of
It's
Egypt.
between
It's
the border
hold on,
of
wait, hold
Egypt.
on, Kala. It's a area where it's like Sudan and Egypt
I
kind of
know.
meet in that area.
We already covered that. You know,
Yeah, it's called
we
Bird to
already covered
Wheel.
that's unclaimed territory. But there's some white guy claimed it for his little daughter. You know.
Okay, but so what? If you go over there and build something over there, then
Oh, look,
it'll be
look,
yours.
I have no connection to that territory, right? I come from West Africa, Central Africa, and Southern Africa. I have no connection to that. And not every place is going to work.
Okay, so you afraid to go
I'm not afraid to go.
because you afraid of what the little white girl might do?
I already have my mind set on several countries in Africa that I could do. Liberia is one of them. You know, these are countries I know and I'm building with. You know, Angola, Liberia, Zambia, Congo. Whatever. Like, these are countries I know.
Okay, so you don't want to go because there's a little white girl claimed it
No, I don't
already.
want to go because I don't want to live around Arabs, and I don't give a shit about no desert. You know, I don't want to live around no fucking Arabs and whatnot. You know.
Oh,
What do I have?
okay.
What do I have in common with Sudanese? What do I have in common with Egyptians? Nothing.
But part of the Afghanistan could be over there though.
No, hell no. And I don't. If
Like
somebody, if
the
somebody,
main part of it could
if
be
somebody wants
because
to, if somebody wants to go and build their own version of an Afghanistan over there, hey, I miss you. I just don't want nothing to do with it. You know. Like, they want to go ahead and do that, man. Say, hey, look, I want to call it, man. I'm going to take this and take your land and build me an African. Hey, go right ahead. Who knows? People might follow you there. You might put me out of business, but I ain't gonna be no part of that shit. You know. You know. We're not begging Chuko. And also, people always ask, well, Kala, how exactly are you going to get land and take this land? It's very easy, you know. You know, I was trying to save this, you know, for a good night, but I think it's a good time to really to educate you guys on history. You know, how do you basically create your own nation state? You know, this is very easy. Let's see. The bear flag rule. The bear flag revolt. Hey, Bantu Bandinko, what is the state symbol of California?
What, the bear, man? It's the
Right,
bear.
right. But you know where that comes from, right?
What, cover where?
Well, I'm gonna give you a history of California, right? When people talk about California became Anglo-Stan, you know, because basically, well, let's look at this. The Bear Flag Revolt of settlers that settled in California, and they were just biding their time till they got their numbers up, and they succeeded from Mexico. The Bear Flag Revolt, you know. So let's watch some history. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the great state of California got a hell of a man.
Hold up.
That's a fact. When they built that fucking stadium, they
An
took a
ever
bath.
increasing problem with foreigners coming to Mexican California. Many converted to Catholicism and became naturalized Mexican citizens, but there were a lot of foreigners who refused to naturalize. Governor Alvarado especially distrusted these people. He had a bunch of them rounded up and thrown in jail in 1840 under the suspicion of organizing a coup, which was most likely a false charge. A merchant ship disguising itself as an American naval vessel saved several of these foreigners from execution. Even though they were released with compensation, tensions were obviously on the rise. During the Mitchell-Torrena War, the actual American Navy did show up. Commodore Jones thought that the US had declared war with Mexico in 1842, and so he accidentally captured California for a day before figuring out his mistake. It was a bloodless affair, but understandably disturbed life in Alta California, and it scared the heck out of Californians who felt the need to be more repressive of foreigners in response. A naturalized citizen named John Sutter had been granted a large amount of land in the Sacramento Valley to be able to handle the American Indians there. He had enough people living on his rancho that he formed an army to fight Mitchell Torrena, but he changed sides before the fighting began. This flip-flopping was a problem with a lot of non-Hispanics in California because they didn't know who to believe in. There were high-level talks about annexing Alta California to foreign governments, Pio Pico advocated giving it to the USA, but there was no consensus. Either way, those options would be taken away from them. In 1846, a rumor started flying around that the Mexican government was going to send an army to stop all of this stuff and solidified California control while kicking out all the foreigners. After all the trouble with local authorities that we've already talked about, and not being able to deal with the foreign question, it was a prime opportunity to take matters into their own hands. John C. Fremont and his third exploratory expedition just happened to be causing problems for the local government at the time of these rumors. It is not known how the decision was made, but a large contingent of foreigners decided to rebel. They took the barracks in Sonoma, raising an early version of what is now the state flag. They took the bears that were so plentiful as their symbol. They included the independent red star of Alvarado's, California, and added a red stripe so it didn't look like a surrender flag. On it was the new declaration that they made to the world. These bear flaggers declared that California was now a fully independent republic in its own right. Eventually, Fremont joined the bear flaggers, supplementing their numbers enough to push through towards Monterey, the Alta California capital. By this time, the United States Navy's Pacific Squadron had heard about the fighting, but couldn't decide whether or not to intervene. Unbeknownst to anyone on that side of the continent, a war between the US and Mexico had already started. But since no one knew about it, no one could use that as a reason to help the bear flaggers. So in July, at the suggestion of Fremont, who was a US Army colonel, Commodore Sloat decided to intervene. They found out about the Mexican-American War only a few days after the campaign in California had begun. They captured Monterey without firing a shot. But unlike what happened in 1842, this time it was because the Californians had fled to create their own army. With some sabotage tactics, the Americans were able to capture Yerba Buena without fighting. Sloat honorarily changed the name of the place to San Francisco. They unloaded as many men ashore to help begin a campaign to capture the rest of California. Fremont's expeditionaries, the Bear Flaggers, and the U.S. Navy Blue Jackets and Marines altogether would be called the Californian Battalion. The California Battalion swept southward from Monterey. They had sporadic fighting as they went. There really was only skirmishing, though. One tendency was that they'd set up a garrison to control a town after they left, and Californios would take it back because there were so few numbers to maintain it. That didn't last long, though. A company under the command of General Kearney made the arduous journey across the Mojave Desert to join a battle near San Diego. Two battles were fought in the foothills surrounding Los Angeles, and the Treaty of Cahuenga was signed in January of 1847, ceding Alta California to the USA. The California War was too short to get many American reinforcements during the actual fighting. There was the Stevenson Regiment, sent from New York, and the Mormon Battalion, but they were really only there for the military governorship that followed. Once the treaty had been concluded, the California Battalion traveled further south, conquering all of Mexico's west coast. The Stevenson and Mormon units served in California as an occupying force until the end of the war, which came swiftly in 1848, with the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe. By that time, California was firmly in U.S. control. The U.S. set up a military governorship which would rule all the way until 1850, when the state government took over. California wasn't a significant possession until almost perfectly after the end of the Mexican-American War, because gold was discovered that year. But we'll hold off for another episode about the gold rush. I'm going to take a break from this California series for a while. Tell me what you guys think of it so far, and if I should continue it.
Well, see,
But while you're here,
notice how that happened the same way Texas was taken. The settlers comes in, right? They get their numbers up, right? And next thing you know, they start complaining and causing insurrections and stuff like that. Eventually, a war breaks out, and the host country just succeeds and say, well, whatever. You know, that's the same way the Afghanistan is going to be formed. You know, we have to first start building communities and settlements, you know?
Yeah.
Is anybody against that?
Sounds like a good idea.
That's what we have to do. We have to build real settlements. That's why I said I have a lot banking on these black people that's in Ghana with their settlements. They fail, man. And it's like,
Yeah, they
you know,
building a hell of cities in Ghana. It's crazy,
What
man.
you say?
So they building hella property in Ghana.
Yeah, I need to do something. I need to see cities spring up. I need to see municipalities. You know, we need to build municipalities. You know, and loading zones, industrial zones, and stuff like that. You know, get Marcus on.
How y'all
But
doing? What's up? How y'all doing? Now I was
What?
looking at the video with California and everything.
right,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we ain't lying. That's the same thing with Texas. But the thing is, with Texas, I'm gonna tell you this. 'Cause a lot of people try to say that's part of Mexico. Mexico only had that bitch for 15 years, and there was barely any Mexicans in Texas at that time. You dig?
yeah, that's why we say
It,
we're gonna go to unoccupied territory as much as possible. Of course, there'll be a few people there,
yeah, it was very
but
few.
we go to we mapped out. David Hitt and I mapped out several places with unoccupied. You know,
You
and
talking
we
about
just
Angola? Where?
populate that territory, and then eventually we will succeed and come up with our own state. You know,
Wait, what y'all talking about? Like in real life? What y'all talking about?
in Africa, yeah, this whole program is about. We're trying to build a nation in Africa. You know,
I'm sure I'm late. I ain't even know shit. It's some new stuff. All right.
yeah,
What's
this
the
is a real thing, man. All these other panels, all they do is talk nonsense and everything. I got a solution. We need a nation state of our own. You know, a powerful nation state will basically be the political.
you know
I
it's gonna be
know
war, right?
we're not
You
talking
know
about Ghana. Ghana's too many freaking tribalized Negroes there.
you do that it's gonna be war, right?
No, no, it's not gonna be war. If you're on the ground, right,
Yeah.
possession is not attempts to the law. You know, international law is a people have a right to succeed from a country if they want to. You
The
know,
most
if we're a majority in a territory, yeah, we have a right to the land becomes ours.
uh, uh,
Or
yeah, but you
yeah,
know,
you know, yeah,
Texas.
but man, just you gotta stop being a coward, man. Say, yeah, you know,
I ain't know. I'm just saying historically speaking. Though I'm trying to tell you, like California, Texas, those those two examples that they went to war.
yeah, they went to war because they had Mexico that was determined to keep the territory, but it was futile because the
Mm,
California is basically in what you call it, Texas, basically the numbers was just on their side. You know, they have
like a
people
motherfucker. Yeah,
and stuff like that. So
especially in
I would never
Texas.
succeed until we have overwhelming numbers. You
So
know,
what's overwhelming numbers? Give me like a ballpark. A ballpark.
well, if a territory only has a few hundred people in a territory,
Yeah,
overwhelming lose 100,000 people. You know,
because I know y'all
once you
was
have
talking about.
police, you have whoever controls the land, whoever's doing the scouting, the
Mm,
patrol, the roadblocks, the road checks. You just assume all those things yourself.
mm,
Whoever's the majority in power or not, whoever collects the most taxes, whoever's paying the most taxes,
mm,
you know, all that
mm,
matters. You know, whoever's doing the most commerce, the most industry, and whoever's building the most schools, whoever's the
mm.
most productive, you know,
Productive. Yeah.
you know,
So what?
that's
I guess Angola or in that area, I guess, or
I,
like South.
I mapped up parts of southern Congo and Angola and Zambia, you know, as potential places, you
I can
know.
see the Congo because the Congo definitely needs some people to look out for
The
that country. That's
only problem with the Congo is, like I said, Angola. My Angolan people talk to them. I talk to them all the time.
yeah.
They have a problem with Congolese refugees there, you know, and
Mm.
look, they're our brothers and everything, but they gotta go.
They
You
gotta
know,
go. You ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna work. Shit, they could work. They could be the
yeah, but
workers or
the
some
bottom line, but
shit.
when it's not just work. You gotta take care of them. You gotta give them health care. You gotta educate their kids. There's a lot of burden. Coming when an illegal alien somebody comes into your country, we're not that over. When you have a refugee camp in your country, that's a burden, millions of dollars that you be using on something else that you gotta suddenly foot the bill for. You know.
Mm. Mm.
So I trust. I talked to a lot. That's why I said this idea of Ubuntu is a nonsense. It
Oh yeah,
won't work.
yeah. All that we've been doing that for 100 plus years. That Pan African shit.
Yeah,
It,
because
it hindered us.
Ubuntu is something
Yeah,
for
that you
African
already saw what
American.
happened with Liberia shit. Yeah, that definitely
That's
hindered
an
us.
African American concept, Ubuntu. You know.
Yeah, nah, you got it's tribal now. You gotta look for your own people, Black American tribal shit. I ain't trying to be FBI. I love my people, but let's get the empire. Our shit started first, then we can help other people. You can't be helping people in the while we getting fucked over. That's crazy.
This guy now says that I don't know Africa. I'm only here. You know, I'm only here every year, and
Yeah,
I'm living the African life. But I'm always here and out on the continent. You know,
yeah.
I'm in Africa more than I'm in any other place besides where I live at.
You in
So
Africa more than some Africans, huh?
yeah, more than some Africans. You know. So what does that tell you, you knowledge seeker? Call them no Africa. I'm only here right now. You know, you stupid idiot. You know.
More than some Africans. You ain't lying. They said they ain't never going back.
Yeah. No, the bottom line, like I said, I'm here to say you can't take land. Nobody said about taking land. There's a billion Africans. Okay. All right. Yeah.
He
You can.
said, "Free ME country, bitch. We got choppers. Fuck you talking about? We
Well,
coming
check
and
this
you ain't
out.
ready for
Tell me
this.
how the white people took Aranya in South Africa, and they're
Talking
talking
about
about
he ain't
building their
ready
own
for this.
republic down there.
Boy,
You
we
know,
got choppers.
you could have just take. We're not going to integrate into no fucking
We ain't
African.
doing.
Get the hell
We
out of
ain't
here.
doing that. We got our own. How the hell we gonna do that? That's crazy.
That's
We got
all
our
it
own
is.
shit going
All
on.
these people just want access to our women, our money,
Yeah,
because they can't build shit themselves. They always want these
we
people.
on
The
the
people
Ghana shit. No, we on some soldier shit.
we got our own culture and every own
Yeah, we
way
got
of
our
life.
own all
We
that.
don't need to fucking integrate with no other
Yeah.
society, right? We need
I
our own
got love
majority.
for
We're the
Africa, but
majority, but
I
we
don't
can
want
have we
that
need space
culture
to
to.
do our own thing as
I
Black
don't want
African
that
Americans.
that,
You
that
know,
tribal culture to go into my kids and my descendants and all that crazy. No, we all black. All that Fulani house and shit. Nah, we ain't fucking with that.
yeah.
They've
What
been
you
doing that
call
for
it?
1,000 years and they sticking their ass for.
The bottom line, and the African mind does not want to rise above that tribalism shit. They don't want to rise above that stuff. You know,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
you know why? Because you understand something. It's only because they have game. You know,
Hmm.
game means that if I say I'm a Yoruba, the only reason I'm
Hey,
sticking
man,
towards
put
you,
yourself
you
on mute.
Hmm? Hello?
yeah. Who's
Dude, bro, mute up.
you what? No.
Mm.
No, I was telling Marcus to mute his mic. Nobody want to hear that shit.
Problem.
Hear what? Hear what? What you got opposition with?
I don't know what that you talking about.
You didn't hear that?
Hear what?
All right, go ahead, carry on.
I ain't hear
What
anything.
the hell you talking about? I was
Okay,
playing the game. Whatever
I
you
got my
talking about.
brother, Great African on the line. What's going on, Great African? I'm in your town, man, right now.
You're in Morovia or you're in Ganta?
I'm in Monrovia, man. I don't know if I can make Ganta this year, man. I might try to go up there again. I went up there last time. I saw your farm, man. I loved it.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Your boy
man.
gave me a tour of your farm, man. I loved it. You know, I sent you the
Nah,
video.
I got no etiquette.
Cool. You're looking fit, Carla.
What?
The
Oh yeah,
profile.
man. I'm trying to grow up to be like you, man.
No, yeah, man. We just have to take care of our health and be exercise at least 6 days a week. You know what I mean?
You didn't tell me that you had poisonous snakes up there, bro.
Oh yeah, we do.
You didn't tell me that, man. Your dog up
This.
there was dying. He said, "Oh yeah, he got bit by a snake." I said, "What? Give me the fuck out of here! Give me the fuck out of here, man!" I was like, "Yo, man,
Yeah,
yeah."
that's why we have to have them dogs around because they're the front line.
So what
But
kind of snakes? What kind of snakes are those?
man, they got different types and the level of poison. You know, we have green mamba, black mamba.
Are you
Uh,
serious? Are
yeah.
you serious,
hmm
Mamba?
We got we have cobras.
What part of Africa is this?
This
Man,
is all
yo, I
Liberia.
did not know all this, bro. I ain't
Yeah,
going back there. Shoot, man.
You
but
got
we
black
got
mambas in Liberia.
oh yeah,
What's
green
this?
ones. There's the green ones too.
Yeah, the green
But
mamba are dangerous, but not as dangerous as black mamba. You know.
yeah, basically, and we got boa constrictors. Basically, any kind of snake that you can think of, except we don't have anaconda, but we got boa constrictors.
Got pythons and
So
everything, no?
yeah,
Python.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
all in the python family. But I mean, it's if
Man, I
snakes
felt
aren't
bad because your dog was sitting there dying, man. He's like, "Oh yeah." He ain't gonna last
He's
tonight. He's over there.
no, but it survived though.
It did? Oh, they told
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I thought it
Because
was
it's
like,
like it's just yeah, we got it's two now we got 4 dogs because we brought in a female one and then they had one surviving puppy. So yeah,
yeah,
but
that's good, man. That's good.
yeah, those dogs are just they're sounding the alarm on everything. Um,
What I love about you is I love it you and your sister is even though me and her not really know speaking terms right now, but love her to death. I know she be saying about me. I
no, I
love
mean
her.
it's all good.
I love her, man, but she's hanging
Yeah.
around with some people that I ain't cool with, you know.
Hmm.
Anyway, what I love about you is you seem to be proud to be a Liberian. You know, I
Oh
don't.
yeah.
I rarely see that from like people from the hinterland that's proud to be like. They don't. You don't talk about your tribe. You're proud of your tribe, but you always make it clear that you are a black man and you're a Liberian. You know.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what I love
I'm
about
a
you.
I'm a black man first and foremost, right?
Exactly.
Um, and that's my worldview. That's how I look at the world. I'm a black man. Um, but at the same time, I am who I am. You know, I was born into the black family in the Mano tribe of Liberia. So I'm proud of that too. But being a
Mm.
black man takes precedence over everything
Fact.
because
Yeah.
the system of oppression that we all face as black men and women
Mm.
doesn't care about your tribe. It doesn't care about what part of the world, what part of the planet you are on. It's a worldwide system of that's geared to suppress every single black person on the planet.
Yeah.
So if you look at it from that standpoint, and understand that, then wherever you find yourself in the world, it's irrelevant because you suffer from the same system of oppression.
Mm.
Right.
If you understand,
I wish I could get some Nigerians to think like that, man. It's just like you
Nah,
be.
they too tribal for that shit. Nah, they too
no,
tribal.
Nigerians believe that they're the superior race of
For real?
humans.
I can,
Yeah,
but they country fucked up.
yeah, but it
Shit.
is. But you know what it is, bro?
What?
Like what I said in the beginning, we have a worldwide system of black oppression. No
Mm-hmm.
matter where you find yourself, no matter what you think, you're
Yeah.
still a victim of that system.
But they don't know. The Nigerians don't know.
Well,
Yeah, some of them do.
I think what it is with Nigeria, like Fela Kuti knew, right? Because he was
Hmm.
basically, he was very pro black nationalist and whatnot. But the thing is, you
Yeah.
understand something about Nigeria, right? Nigeria
Good.
basically have a sort of privilege over other groups of black people. The fact
Why
that
is that?
one, they
Just
have
repeat.
oil.
Nigerians
They
they
have
don't need
oil.
to rule the race.
Listen very carefully.
I'm
They
listening.
have oil, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they basically can go into different parts of the world, right, and
Mm-hmm.
do high level stuff that a lot of black people, even us, can't do right now. You know, as far as
Mm.
like oil, make deals and everything like that. This is what we sacrificed when we didn't go back to Liberia or build another nation of our own. We're in under the tutelage of another race of people. You know, in
Yeah.
America.
The base.
Nigerians have at least to have the outlet of independence, even though you may say that Nigeria is colonized technically, but they have some sort of autonomy and sovereignty that we don't experience, you know, and stuff like this. Like when people like we don't have to worry about monetary zones and monetary rates and stuff like that. They do because they have their own banking system, you know. We have banks, but our banks are U.S. banks. You know what I'm saying?
It's still connected to America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we tethered to America, and Nigerians look at that is the fact that since we're tethered to America, they all of our accomplishments, even though we have probably more billionaires than they do, when that
Way
they look
more.
at us like we would not be any place until unless it for white
The
people. You
white
know,
boy.
they
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
it. You know, that's what they
Yes.
see. Black America, they admire Black America. They do
Yeah.
in mind
Um.
and think, what can you do on your own? And that's why the African stand is so important. Right? We need to show the world, them, everybody else, that what we can do. That's why I tapped on the Liberia, because Liberia it was an example of
Yeah.
only black republic that we built on the African continent, right? That was there 100 years, 130 years before Nigeria was a republic, you know?
Yeah,
So
Nigeria did.
therefore,
Mhm.
so
Shithole.
therefore we have to always
You're
shine the
right.
fact that Liberia led Black Africa out of darkness, the Lone Star, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Look,
we had, and so what
Liberia.
I
Let
love
me
about
just say this,
what
Carla.
I
I'm
love about
listening.
Liberians nowadays is they take pride in both their heritage now. Most Liberians will say some of my ancestors are native, some of my ancestors come from African America. That makes me feel so good that they're not just basically othering the people that came from. And say, yeah, half our people came from America, half of them came from here, and that's our country, you know. So
Yeah.
when you look at it, they're not, the tribalism is so dying here. It's unreal, man. You know, it's really unreal how tribalism is dying.
But you know what's
You know?
crazy, Kyler? If this plan work, this Afghanistan, best believe Afghanistan gonna jump way beyond Nigeria, South Africa.
Oh, we can all hope. I
So
know for a fact of the matter is
If
we're gonna need these countries, South Africa,
oh no, I
Nigeria.
know that. Yeah, trade. Yes,
We're going to
I
need
know that.
these countries' markets. We're going to need their manpower. We're going to need some of their expertise and whatnot. You know, we're not going over there to be like, we're better than you and that. We're going to be very, very humble, you know, because let me tell you something, right? And this is what I'm talking about. This is another thing I'm talking about, great African. Did
Mm.
you hear
yeah.
Donald's speech when he said he didn't know who Lesotho was?
Oh yeah. I mean, so
Now,
listen,
we may joke
they
about that. We may joke about that, but to the average white person, they never heard of most of these countries. You know, we know
no,
about
most black people don't know what Lesotho is.
most
You know
black
what I
people
mean?
know what Lesotho is, right?
So so
But you see the response from Lesotho. How dare you? We're a sovereign nation. See how they stand on that sovereign nation? They stand on that
so
square. We're a sovereign, proud nation.
let
We're
me
a nation. You know.
let me interject and just say this. Um, my view on the whole thing of nations and all of that. Like I said, I'm a black man first. Okay. Um, Africa
Yeah.
needs complete and total political unification
Mm.
to be successful. You need to have. We have to go back to Kwame Nkrumah, and he predicted this. Okay, before he was overthrown, he wanted to have a United States of Africa. And then
Mm.
When Gaddafi tried it, they got rid of him. You understand?
But they could.
Imagine, if you will,
Mm.
an African continent that is politically unified as a trading bloc with a currency that's based on the minerals that we have in the ground.
But
Backed
check
by
this out.
Right
gold.
now,
Only problem is, like you look at the African Union. Not one country want to give up any part of their sovereignty.
no. But here's the deal, though. It's slowly happening. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. The bank, like you went way up country into Nimba. I have my farm. The bank that we bank at, where the people deposit money when they buy palm oil, it's Echo Bank. That's a Nigerian bank. You
Yeah,
understand? So it's a Nigerian bank in the middle of rural Liberia. You're never gonna see JP Morgan Chase or any of these other banks in Monrovia, let alone rural Liberia. So what I'm talking about is economic and political unity. You have a form of it in like a very, very, very watered down version of it, so-called African Union. Then you have ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States. So when Africa was great, what we call West Africa now was once called Sungay. It was once called Mali.
yeah.
It
They
was
had a
once
huge
called
trade, the
Ghana.
largest trading system in the world.
Exactly. So that's when we were great. But when those empires crumbled, then it was easy for us because up until the 1400s, okay, when the Islamic thing started to go on, and then we had all these wars. Like, I can give you a history. I can go back 800 years. I am from the so-called Ma tribe. My ancestors came from the empire of Mali. Why did they leave Mali? They left Mali because they didn't want to become Muslims. So they
Yeah,
left,
that's a lot of
and
people don't know that. There's a lot of people that fled into those areas, caused conflict, and that was the basis of the slave trade. You know, of the
yeah,
conflicting. who migrated the area after the collapse of the Songhai Empire. You know.
So that's so if you want to know, our ancestors already told us. We had all these different languages 800 years ago. When Europe was in the Dark Ages, West Africa was a thriving civilization. Okay, to the point that Massa Kanka Musa, who was the emperor of Mali, okay, he is still considered in today's dollar to be the richest person to ever live. Okay, when you hear about the confusion of people saying that, oh, like the FDA, we were already in America. Part of that
Well, that's
confusion
stupid.
comes
I
from,
hate that. I hate that
but
foolishness.
but
You know.
but part of that confusion comes from the fact that
They migrated
the
to America.
the
Yeah,
empire of Mali, he sent
yeah,
2,000 ships across the
yeah,
ocean.
yeah. They did.
You understand? He sent 2,000 ships across. They were shipwrecked. They weren't able to
Facts.
return. But when a couple of hundred years later Columbus arrived, he just
Yeah,
did describe seeing black people,
he was
right?
speaking real
So,
shit. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting pseudo here.
Nah,
Hey,
but it
he was
doesn't
speaking
mean
real shit. He was
let me
speaking
get my
real
brother.
shit.
Let me get my brother Dion on. Dion from Chicago. Or not, you know. What's going on, brother? Say hello to Great African, Lewis, the panel, everybody else.
Man, what's going on, brother?
hello, greetings.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime
Dion, what's
in
on your
because
mind tonight?
So,
I guess
so
all these
just
hens in the background.
to finish my I got a
Hey,
couple
go
of
ahead,
kids here.
Great African.
What I'm saying is I'm eating and my kids are running around, so it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time you hear children, it's a good. I
Speak,
mean, you got
speak,
hope for the future.
speak your stuff. Speak your stuff. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if Africa is to be great, then we need a United States of Africa,
Mm.
and there's no excuse for not having it. Let's look at it. Okay, the area, like the whole. I did my 23andMe, and I share mitochondria DNA with Ramesses the Third of Egypt. You understand? So our people have been migrating and setting up empires. So when the greatest civilization ever known to man um, was the Egyptian Empire, they built structures that it took 5,000 years for man to actually build a structure that high. Okay, and we were great.
They're still working out how they done it.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that example of greatness, the area that it covered was a massive area, and it was a unified empire. When they unified the north and the south of Egypt, that's when Egypt became great. So our ancestors already gave you an example of why you need a united Africa. Then, if you look at any other civilization in Africa that was considered great, it was a consolidation of multiple nations, multiple chiefdoms, multiple kingdoms that came together to form, have a united trading system. But when those systems fractured, then it was easy to say, this kingdom, you're at war with this kingdom. You capture these people. We're going to give you some weapons so you can be a little bit more powerful. And then you go and bring these other people. Today, what we're dealing with is the same divide and rule. I'm from quote unquote Liberia, but I have cousins across the river from my farm who are in Guinea. They speak French when they go to school. I only can communicate with them in our language. Okay, that's foolishness, right? So it's the same system. So then when you look at it, even when you come into, I grew up in Milwaukee. When I moved to Milwaukee, you know what I mean? It was like it's separate gangs. We had about 4 different type of gangs. You understand? And people had to, you had to do this. I refused to join because I fought my own fight. It was like, man, you need to join this so you can get backup. I don't need backup. I'm a black man. I don't need that. Right? So that's that. Then I went to college, and what did I find? The same tribalism. What did they call it? They call it the Greek thing. Are you this? Are you that? Are you, Q dog? You're alpha. You're this. And you're this. You understand? So the meaning is you couldn't have unity even in college, on the college campus, as one voice. We got to see what the alphas have to say. We have to see what the kappas have to say. We have to see what the Q dogs have to say. So what I'm saying is, the system that we have in place is only able to survive when there's this unity among Black people. When you start to take your tribe, to be more important than your race.
Yeah. Great
So
African. I love your story because I've listened to you a few times in the past. And you're a man of action. I mean, Carla is in Liberia. He's already been to your farm and seen what you're doing. A big hi to everybody, including Carla.
Yeah, man, he
Some
told
of
me
the other guys.
up there. I don't know if I'll be going up there this year, man.
Okay.
You're welcome to. You're welcome to.
I will.
Yeah,
I'll
you
think
need to
about it.
stream
I
it.
gotta buy some leather, some food, some snake-proof gear when I go up there.
Just wear your boots. You'll be all right. And
Yeah.
have a
Whatever
stick.
makes your leg,
Wear your
man.
boots. No, don't be scared. Wear your boots and have a stick. Trust me. First time you meet a wild one, all your fear will be gone after it.
I've been fighting snakes my whole life. I grew up upstate New York, right? But
Yeah, I don't like them, but don't worry about them.
Snake that could just kill you with one bite and whatnot.
The thing is,
don't let that
the snake is only gonna get you if you accidentally step on it.
Yeah,
it's trying to run away from you.
Get away from you as well.
It's trying to get away from you. It's not like looking for you, except for Black Mamba might attack you just because it's
that one. Yeah, but you got a stick. You got a long stick. Most snakes ain't got my chance. Or you got a machete.
Yeah, they're not even.
You go in the bush. Just be prepared.
Yeah.
I got a long stick with a pitchfork on it.
Yeah.
I was saying, Great African. Listen, everything. Let's remember today is 6th of March. That's the Ghana's Independence Day. So I'm glad you mentioned Nkrumah. I think that the way that the system is, and the way that the white people are going in a way, we have no other choice but to work together.
Yes.
You understand? Black people are going to be forced to work together the way we were forced to work together under segregation in America. Right. But 100%. Now there's an advantage. We've got now the history. You mentioned Mansa Musa. Our people, they are kind of left the Mali and Songhai Empire coming down where we are now because of Mansa Musa. When he became Muslim, that was a big problem for us. Everybody just went different directions, and I think your people got stuck in Liberia. We end up where we are in Ghana now at the moment. Yeah. Eventually, such as the way the world system is, we have no choice but to trade together. We'll be forced to do things together. We'll have no choice. So I'm thinking that a lot of the stuff you see, the skirmishes that you see in small parts of Africa, such as even what's going on between Rwanda and Angola, so these are the last stages. I think Kuma said the last stages of neocolonialism. Yeah.
Well, in Rwanda, you have this group. In Congo, you have this group, a rebel group called the FDLR. So it was mostly Hutu nationalists, right? Who want to overthrow the country of Rwanda government, right? And institute the same stupid thing. I don't understand. What are they trying to liberate? What are they trying to liberate?
Well, at the moment, I'm going off subject. The problem seems to be coming from Rwanda at the moment. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's coming from Rwanda. It's coming from the FDLR and the warlords and the rebels in that eastern region. That's where it's coming from.
So far, I haven't heard a report that says that.
I can give you the report.
Yeah.
FDLR. FDLR motto is Hutu Nation. Now, brother,
but the Hutu, if I'm correct, already mainly in DRC anyway.
Yeah, I know. Hold up. The Hutu basically want to come back to Rwanda, install themselves, and continue the genocide and everything. All the reckless, they call BTR, build, kill, and loot, something like that. Whatever.
Yeah, but they haven't made any inroads into Rwanda. It's the Rwandans who got into
working with M23. Just the other day, you haven't noticed, M23 captured a bunch of them, handed them over to Rwanda.
That was a stage. Don't listen to that. That was a PR stunt from.
No, I do have to listen to that because I don't buy the idea. Check this out. Also, Lewis, check this out. Why did the president of the Congo say to Donald Trump, "You can have all my mineral resources if you go to war with Rwanda"?
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Rwanda's working for the West.
Yeah, I hear you. I haven't heard that one. Listen, let me just make my point.
That doesn't add up, right? Doesn't add up.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
Working for the West. So why is it basically like this? Could it be that the Congo government is really under puppet of the West, and the FDLR and all the rebel groups and the warlords, all those working together? And the bottom line is this: Paul Kagame is fighting for his country's life, and I support him 100%.
No. We'll come back to that, but let me just make the point quickly without forgetting the point. Sorry about this, Carla. Us great African was saying in West Africa, I think we're going to get it together better than people think. Because we have no choice but to trade with each other. The West, thank God, Trump doesn't give a monkeys about no black man. He ain't going to never visit no black. He don't care. I like an honest race.
Tell that to the president of Congo.
Right? But hear me out. It helps us in Africa because he's basically just going to leave you alone. All right. Eventually, we have no choice but to trade with each other. As Great African was saying, that Nigerian bank is doing very well right in his local place. He can bank there. Okay. There's banks moving all around our Ghana when I go up there. And the last president done very well. He scaled down all the non-performing banks, got rid of them, slimlined everything. Now everything's more or less electronic. You don't have electronic system, your banking system ain't running. That helps all of us. So when you guys identify a land that you want in Africa that is not going to disturb the local people and is brought before African Union. I know you don't like African Union, Carla, but you know that sooner or later you're going to have to put together a package for the whole world to see what your aim is. And it's going to work. And by the way, if I can just say, the African Union is just about to they've just finished putting together their reparation plan. They're putting it together with the African Americans and the Caribbeans. And for the first time, we're going to have a worldwide black reparation package coming. So I think your African stand, Carla, as ludicrous as it might sound to some people,
I'm not waiting on no reparations check.
I know that. Oh no, I understand. I don't believe in going for that. But hey, some people want to do that. Let's just hear them.
Look, whatever. Hey, you know what's gonna happen? Like I told Bantu Mandika, because I figured my good brother Bantu Mandika, and I'm not trying to clown on my brother, right? But he asked the other day, him and Johnson asked the other day about reparations.
Hey, hold on now. What are you talking about?
Don't
start this bullshit, man.
You gotta take that L, man. You gotta take that L, man. You was on the panel,
Don't start this shit, man. Go ahead.
What I said was, I said, you know what's gonna happen? When you Negroes get up there and y'all gonna rise up and get your reparations, y'all gonna go before the Supreme Court of the United States, right? And what's going to happen is the prosecution, probably me, or the defense.
Is this California?
You know, just like California, whatever like that. They're going to call as a chief witness Dane Calloway, you know. We're going to say, Mr. Calloway, you said that slavery never happened and slavery is a lie and then you guys came from Turtle Island. And
no.
I said, we'll go through the whole thing. And next thing we're going to say, wham, case dismissed. Well, now that's the end of that.
That was a disgrace, man. Trust me.
But that's what's running around the internet. Yeah. Negroes are running around saying slavery never happened. They're not from Africa or whatnot.
Yeah, that's like
it comes time for reparations.
I think most black people in America aren't thinking like that. All you gotta do is do a DNA test. When you tell them do your DNA test,
thing is social media.
They start saying, "Oh, that's the science. Somebody else controls the science." Like, no, it's just saying DNA test that you just that makes you pay child support or not.
Yeah, check this out. So as soon as that child support thing comes up negative, they're like, "Yes, I thought you didn't believe in DNA, man." When they get out of it, comes up negative, they don't have to pay child support. They're like, "Yes, when certainly DNA is good." When it comes down to proving your heritage and whatnot, why you got a wig on your head and whatnot, and why you look black when you call yourself Native American when that DNA is such a lie now,
Everybody have a story about their grandmama's grandmama that was full-blooded Cherokee, and there's a picture of her on their mantle.
It'd be a black woman.
You know what I mean? It's a thing where, unfortunately, it's a fantasy of people. Of black enslaved people running away and seeking refuge with Indians, and it's
a lot of black people in America. They use slavery, Indians, to basically say that they
to
were
escape Africa.
because Indians weren't degraded by their race. That's why they want to claim that.
Yeah, and that's all. That's what we call mental slavery. Because everybody knows what the evidence is. I did my 23andMe, and it put me 100% in Liberia. I have more than 1,000 Black American DNA relatives, so which means that people in my family were also captured and brought across this world. So when you have these divides, when you take your DNA, and I was like, okay, how can I look at me and say those people, those Black Americans, those Caribbean people? I got people that are my relatives DNA wise in Puerto Rico, all over the Black world. You understand? And that is through DNA. There might be less than 1%, but it says that, okay, you have a common great great grandmother. You share a third great great grandmother. So all of these things is evidence that will refute anybody that says that there was no, we weren't here. The only thing I would say is Black people crossed the ocean and got shipwrecked here.
I don't even believe that. I don't think Black.
Tyler don't believe in DNA.
So what I'm saying is, the DNA stuff doesn't lie. Matter of fact, it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
so
if you don't believe it, just add it to the evidence. So you got that.
Yeah, I have the evidence. The evidence says that.
That's fine. I just don't believe it.
The evidence. The evidence suggests. The evidence says there's people that you're related to ancient people. Ramesses the third.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, brother.
And
let me just pick up on that, brother. Did you see the documentary about the African American who had almost like 100% DNA from Ramesses? Him and his family even look like the statues.
I've seen it.
You see that?
I've seen
it.
Man, Carl, I know you don't believe. When you see this documentary, you're gonna go, wow. The brother look like the statue and everything.
Ramesses on 125th Street.
Nah, he looks just like.
No, Carlo. Do your 23andMe, bro. Do your 23andMe or like African.
You might be cousin, Carlo.
Is that the Ramesses you're talking about?
The actual use. If you type on YouTube, you see it. DNA from America. I bet if he finds out he's related to Ramesses, he's gonna build Afghanistan in Egypt.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
He's not desert.
But yeah,
the DNA evidence suggests.
I gotta give you some pushback, bro, because the DNA testing and the ancestry testing is definitely like an estimate. Like, you know what I mean? Ancestry.
That's what
That's why you can't sue. That's why you can't sue.
Okay, DNA wise, gentlemen. DNA wise, here's the thing. Here's what I want to just clear something up. You're only 49 to 50% of your DNA. 49 to 50% of your DNA comes directly from your mother and your father.
Yep.
So it's not possible for somebody to be 100% DNA.
Oh, okay.
With somebody that was from 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
What is definitely possible is that they have a common paternal lineage, the DNA that's passed from father to son to son.
Okay.
This is why sometimes when African Americans or African people that were enslaved, when the men do their DNA test, it's putting them their paternal lineage in like Scotland. You understand? Because of what happened.
Though, it's not accurate. Like it's just like an estimate. Like they're just guessing.
No, listen. Mitochondrial DNA is passed from the paternal.
The scientific law.
It's like this, from father to son. Okay, the DNA that came from my father to me, and me to my sons, it's the same mitochondrial DNA that goes back 20, 30, 40,000 years.
Yep.
You understand? So that's
anybody can have that then, there, bro. Anybody can have that.
Like for example,
the father carries the seed.
If you're a man,
bro, you can only go back to probably like your grandpa, bro. That's about it.
No. You're absolutely false.
No lie, bro.
50,000 years.
I'm not lying. Take your DNA test, bro.
I didn't say you were lying. I said no
You
lie.
don't
I
believe in
didn't
it.
say you was lying.
No. Listen,
I didn't say it
it's
was lying.
150
I
bucks.
said no lie. I said
Oh, okay, no problem.
no.
So what I'm saying is,
I'm not doing that.
okay, I know I didn't want to do it because I thought they were going to try to clone me. You
My
know,
DNA
Well,
goes back.
you don't want to be a
Yeah,
Nigerian.
150. Nah, I'm just saying 150 is crazy. I'm not paying 150
yeah,
for that. You know, like I'll just say I'm
yeah.
African.
I mean, it's just all it is just is what it is. For me, when I took that, and then I saw 1,000 Black Americans share something with me, it made me look at it like, wow, it's not just a theory anymore. It's actually real that we're
Yeah.
brothers because I've never met any of these people.
Check this out. Check this out. When I
Mm-hmm.
did my DNA back, I had they
Well,
said
you done a DNA test?
mother. It had all my cousins that took the DNA test. It says first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin. It was so freaking accurate. Sister, brother, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like so freaking accurate. I was like, damn, how did they know? All I did was spit in the tube, send it out there, and
Mm-hmm.
basically do
Because they
all
got
my
it too.
what? Yeah, but I know.
Like
But
you know,
how would they
I'm saying
match
because
me up to
your
the
cousins
thing?
took it.
They match you up
Now
with your
because like
DNA.
yo, Colin, like come on, bro. They could just look at your last name, bro. They could just look you up,
No,
right?
no,
You know,
No,
hear me
no,
out.
No,
No, my
bro,
last
I swear
name,
to God.
listen, the science.
bro.
Yo, Dark
Listen,
Migo, Dark Migo.
Let
My last
me
name, my last
let me
name is different
buttress
from my family's last name. I
let
have
me
African.
buttress like what Kyle is saying. Okay, do you know that this is all the negative part about putting your DNA out there? They can go in if they catch somebody, can look at
yep. Criminal
any
rights.
DNA particle that you left, and
Yep.
then let's
Yeah,
say
they
Kala
can't
has a crazy
keep
cousin
people.
that he's
Yeah.
never met. Let's say, just an example, let's say Kala has a crazy cousin he never met, and he went and did something because Kala is in the database. They'll be like, okay, that's okay, you're related to this person. Then they'll go to Kala and say, hey, do you know so and so that lives? You know what I mean? So they've been able to capture people
Yep.
and
Yeah,
Same
I
here
seen
in
pin
it.
them
England.
to
They do
crime.
that a lot.
In California, check this out. Years ago, I forgot Arizona. This one dude, brother, was on the run for 15 years, right? They got a DNA particle, right, and linked it back. He was like in 7 states away. They went and found this dude, brought him back on trial and not, and then 3 years later they executed him. You know? Yeah, DNA is real, bro. That's real.
Yeah,
It's real.
No, I'm not.
science,
I'm saying it's real,
science has
but I'm saying like
advanced a lot.
they can't go back that far, bro. Like you gotta have a
Yeah,
couple
they go
living
back. Yo,
relatives
my DNA.
in order to
Yo,
match
Dark
you up.
Migo. Here, check this out. My Dark Migo. Check this out. My DNA basically traced back to the first Africans brought to the New World in the 1600s in the
Uh-huh.
Carolinas and Georgia. That's how far back my ancestors go to. The first Africans came here. I have no ancestry in the Senegambia region, right?
Mhm.
I have no ancestry in Senegal and all these other places like that. I have ancestry in Togo, Benin, Eastern
Mhm.
Nigeria, Cameroon, and most of it is Angola. Like
Uh-huh.
majority is Angola and the Congo. You know,
Yeah.
like majority of my
And listen,
DNA started
if
Congo
you put that together with the
50,000
history,
years
it
ago.
makes sense, bruh.
Good.
Because of the route some of our people took coming to West Africa from far east, and some of us came up from the north, like
That's what I'm trying to tell Baruti about this Bantu stuff like that. There's no
yeah,
Bantu people. Bantu people in Africa are the same freaking people. There's no
thank
Bantu.
you. Right. But the thing is, I don't know if you're familiar with the writings of Dr. Livingston. He's an old colonial guy who went to Zimbabwe years ago, and he was writing. He was from I think Cambridge anthropology department, and he studied the Bantu, and he wrote a lot of stuff on the Bantu. And you'd be surprised. This is before DNA came. So when you put everything together, you begin to see history, right?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So we can't. You got to keep the old writings with the. When you meet it with the DNA and you put everything together, you begin to see human beings like, yeah, it works. It is a particular advancing technology. We can't completely ignore it. But people do move around, of course. But it is part of science now. So we've got to accept it and look at it. At least look at it and not be so skeptical because it's part of science now. You know,
Yeah.
it can work for you
And
or against you.
DNA is we can look at linguistic group. When they talk about
Yeah,
Bantu, they're
yeah.
talking about
Linguistics is
linguistic
very
group.
important. People ignore that.
The people who speak a group of languages. Like for example, I speak what they call the language that I speak is part of what they call the Mende group of languages.
Yeah.
So that means For example, under the Mende, probably most likely in the Mali Empire, they were speaking Mende.
Yep.
So then you have under Mende, you have Madingo.
Yeah.
You have
Different one.
my language, Ma.
Yeah.
They call it Mano. We were they put us in the books wrong. We're
Yep.
Ma people, but then
Yep.
when they asked the Pella people, who are also Mende speaking type
Yep.
people, who we were, they said, "Oh, those are Mano," which
Yeah.
means Ma
People.
people. So then
Oh.
our African American brothers put us down in the books as Mano,
Yeah.
but we're not Mano. We're actually Ma.
Yeah.
But to make a long story short, linguistically, okay,
there's a language map.
there's a
All
language.
the world.
Doesn't
There's a
mean
language
it
map.
doesn't
I've seen it.
it doesn't mean that it's genetic
No,
because
that is related.
exactly. So I could be a Mende speaking person from another area. Maybe
Yeah.
there was a war and then we got absorbed into a specific
Yeah.
tribe.
Yeah.
So then the DNA is not going to lie. The DNA is going to be like, okay, yeah, you have ancestry in Angola, you have ancestry here.
Yeah.
And you'll be thinking, well, why is it that it's showing me in two different places? It's because people weren't just sitting in one spot. So you could have had, like, there's somebody, like a group of your cousins were over that side and they stayed, and then they got integrated into another tribe. So, so the tribal thing is only genetics matter. Linguistics change. Look at me. I'm speaking to all of these African people right now in English. You understand?
Same thing in Europe. When I was studying, when we was doing languages, they gave us a family group of languages. And the Germanic language is it's like the English language. There's a difference between them. If you speak that, you can speak that. It's all related because we all spoke one
No, I
language
think you
one
cut
time on
off.
Earth, you know, and then it split up into different parts. You know,
exactly.
And they know this. For instance, the hieroglyphs. That's what I was trying to tell Carla. Long time ago we done a show, and I was saying that the black people are actually the authentic people of Egypt. They've identified the hieroglyphs, the African language, and
exactly.
when they done a group of languages, that was part of it. And then when you put it with even biblical writings, it makes sense because you can see the evidence. So you can say, but we could eventually we're going to see it all. But getting back, moving away from the point too much, we've got no choice in Africa but to work together because the Europeans, you see them separating themselves now. America completely separating from Europe and so on. So we'll have no choice but to work together. And I can't wait.
Definitely.
I think it's great.
I just want to make a point that where, you know, that people say, oh, you know what? The African languages are not written. You understand? The fact of the matter here is this. That's all part of their whole white supremacy type situation. English, I will tell you this. English is not a written language. French is not a written language. There are 0 written languages in Europe. Okay? There's no script. Like how do you write English? You say ABC. How do you write French? ABC. All of those things are a fabrication. So basically, writing was introduced to Greater Europe through the Romans, the Roman Empire. You understand?
The Greek brought it first. The Greek
brought it, and then the Greek got it from Egypt. Then the Greeks gave it to the Romans, and then the Romans gave it to the Europeans, the rest of the greater Europeans. So listen, the numbers that we use 1, 2, 3, 4 Arabic numerals. You understand? No. So never feel like, as an African, for me to have a look at things and rationalize and understand that I'm not inferior. Because I can take my language and write it down.
Most of our languages now recognized enough actually written down by African professors. We got them at the universities.
Right. But they destroyed it all. They came in and said, okay, whatever script that you have, whatever you're using is inferior. So if you want to be civilized, this is what you got to learn. A, B, C, D. So whatever it is that whatever system of counting, whatever system that you had, they erased it and replaced it.
We have to use what is universally recognized. It's like the Chinese. Look what they're like. It's completely written, completely different, but it still makes the same points if you understand it.
It makes the same point if you understand it. Exactly. Yeah. So I just wanted to make that small point about linguistics and the language and like when people talk about the tribes, because you could do an African ancestry. They're gonna look at, well, we found your mitochondrial DNA in Ghana, and then we also found the same groups of peoples in Nigeria, and you'd be confused. But the fact is, people move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Populations move. So
now,
yeah.
Great African. Let me ask you a question. What
Yeah.
about this notion that you see, like tonight, I was in Al Lagoon. Have you been to Al Lagoon in Monrovia? Old
Alagoon,
Chinatown.
yes. Yeah. Alagoon. Yeah, I know the guy who owns that. Yeah, August
That's what I'm
Street.
staying at right now. I was just in the restaurant, and I seen this freaking redneck
You know
white
what?
guy.
When you go, okay, you're at Alagoon. Okay. When you go to, if you're at Alagoon, ask Gus. Ask for the owner. His name is Gus, and tell him say hello.
Is that the older guy with the glasses?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in like 10 years, but maybe he look older now. His name is Gus.
Or something. He had to give me my money back yesterday. He was a cool guy.
Tell him to give you a drink.
Oh. Yeah, I'll talk to him tomorrow. You say see ya. Anyway, check this out. This white guy here, right? And I'm sitting there like that's like touching on black women here. And I'm like, I don't know. That's just something I got to realize. And he's sitting there talking all this racist shit, man. Talking about
in Africa.
Yeah, this is great.
Man, I tell you, anyway, we don't get.
I'm sitting there like burnt. I'm like seething because I was sitting in the patio part where Africa looking over the water, right? And they're out there in the regular by the pool. And I heard him out there, yeah, man, I'm a white man, and Liberia, I'm a white man. This a white man. I'm like,
we're the only ones who can change that when we go there. You gotta knock that shit on. I'm dying to see that when I get to Ghana, bro.
So I'm
like,
I told y'all that we have a system worldwide. You know what I mean? So it's not.
You feel so entitled and so privileged, And I want to play a video, right? What do you think about the idea of people now calling African Americans colonizers in Africa?
No, here's the thing. That is, first of all, you can't colonize where you're from.
Exactly.
You understand? So if you can say what you will, but you cannot colonize where you're from. So it's
you can't colonize if you have a mother country backing you and stuff like that,
Right. It's basically what it is. Let's call it haterism. Okay.
Well, let's watch this. Let's watch this video.
Like,
let's watch this video. You guys give me a feedback, all right?
All right.
They got learn. 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 From the Caribbean.
I know this, bro.
Yeah, man. All coming back to Africa. And how has that affected people? And those of us that are here, should we even care about that? Or should we just forget about the consequences? Well, I know my point of view. And I've been wanting to talk to you about it, but I've had this voice in my head. It's been saying, oh, don't talk about that. They won't like it if you say that. That's what the voice in my head sounds like. Oh, don't talk about that. They won't like it if you say that. Just say things that they'll like. One thing I've always maintained is that I'd always tell the truth, or at least tell as much of the truth that I can do. Like, I don't want to get beaten up by the local man's dem with a cow horn for speaking too mucking. Like I talk a lot, and I don't need that energy around me. I don't need that. But this conversation has been stirring inside people so long. It's like a mental glue that's been hanging around for too long. It's starting to stick, and I need to share it with you. But I saw this video that a sister put out, and she really kind of like hit the points I was talking about. So I wanted to share them with you. Have a look at the video while I strike this handsome pose.
Speaking of Black people, but really this could be applicable to anybody. And I'm saying this at a time where a lot of Americans are starting to think about leaving America. A lot already have, but especially right now, more people are starting to think about leaving. And I am begging you to leave capitalism here. America isn't just bad because of racism. I know that racism might be the thing that you feel the most tangibly, Racism is an arm of capitalism, which came from colonialism. Leave capitalism here. If you're leaving, leave to start new. I'm specifically looking at African Americans who are moving to African countries. And I'm just seeing colonists. We've got to understand what it is. We've got to call a spade a spade. It doesn't make you better because you're Black. We cannot just move in.
So in other words, basically, the only what I'm seeing right now, Great African, is white people coming here. I'm seeing all the time right here in this hotel. White people coming here doing business, Arabs coming here doing business, everything like that, and they got young Liberians around there, and they're doing business together, whatever they're doing or that. But she's saying that we have to leave all that in America to come here and do what?
No.
So it's listen. This is I don't have a romanticized view of Africa because I'm African, so I know the realities of Africa, and I don't have a romanticized view of America because I'm American in a sense of I've lived here enough. I have American sensibilities and I have African sensibilities, so I'm dealing in reality. Okay, the reality is if you have an American passport, a British passport, you're from a developed country. Chances are you have economic advantage, in many cases educational advantage. So it's up to you. Experience. You're in the belly of the beast, so you know how the beast operates. Okay, so it's not like because you run away from racism in America, like what Collins saw at my friend's place there, a la Lagone, is more white supremacy. So you have to understand it's a worldwide system. It's a worldwide system.
She's coming from. I understand where she's coming from, but I think she said it. You got to watch how she says it and from what point of view she's saying it from. As you said, we do come from. We're exposed to more. We've got the experience. All right. We bring.
But Africans gravitate to us just for that reason. Because we got experience, we got money and stuff like that. So I take our money.
I'm glad you noticed that. They like the young. Right, the younger. That's going to be the difference. We're going to make a difference to the young generation that's coming. For instance, if Great African has got his palm oil thing, he's going to bring mechanism to mechanize his farm to bring it to the next level.
You know, he's already mechanized. His farm's already mechanized. Watch his farm.
Right. So that is the sort of Black people that's needed in a place like in Africa where he's from. That's gonna make
somebody will listen to this video will get discouraged. Like that's why I'm here.
No, what I'm here
to tell people don't listen to freaking stupid idiots like this.
She's giving her opinion. I understand where she's coming from the point of view that we still got to realize that this is our home.
I don't agree with that whatsoever.
See, the thing is,
we have more care. That's what I think she's trying to say.
The narrative of leave America because there's racism, and when you go to Africa, it's going to be milk and honey is 100% false. Okay, it's false. So you got to don't look at Africa through rose-colored glasses. Look at it for what it is.
The reality of Africa.
The reality.
Got to industrialize it. That's one of the main things.
So you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves. You need to understand. You have to learn the culture. I came to America. I had to, at a very young age, learn and adapt very quickly. You understand?
But here's the thing.
I want to say something.
Let me say what I've been doing with the BAO is this. I've learned over the years, right? There's two types of Black people who go to the continent, right? There are actually three. There's Africans who basically, or people like Lewis who lived in Great African who born on the continent, live overseas, come back and forth, whatever like that. You know, that's a new generation of expats and diaspora. You know, then there's African Americans who go there, who come from that, Caribbeans who go there seeking to get away from the modern world. They think everything in the modern world is evil, whatever like that, right? And then there's some Black people who see opportunity. Hey, if I'm a carpenter here and I see that some city is building new things, maybe I can get a contract, and that's opportunity, right? I can get my bank loan like this. So there's three types of African. This lady is one of those lazy people who sit there and probably You know,
it's all right. Someone might make a good wife. You know what I mean?
Carla, you broke it down. You broke it down like you did, definitely 100%. That's how it is. The type of people and the different type of motivations. You can be a person like you. Maybe you're a retiree, and maybe your pension and everything comes out to $3,000 a month. And if you live in any American city, that's not enough. But if you take that $3,000 and go and get yourself a nice spot in Ghana, get a nice used car, then you can live very nice with that $3,000 coming into your bank account. And that's okay because that's $3,000 that's going into the local economy. That's $3,000 that is the local farmers is doing. So we want that, and it's okay. You don't have to be like Carla wanting to build a nation. You can be a very, very comfortable person.
Yeah, do your bit in a simple way. I think
simple way. You don't have to. Yes, go ahead. So yeah, that's all it is. I mean, it's and then you can be an investor if you want to go and invest. You can definitely do that. The opportunities are there. Other people are making money. Africa is the only continent that doesn't need anything.
Chinese, I'm seeing white people here, and I mean these really white people here. You know, like white people. You know, and they're here, they're chilling and breakfast. When I have a continental breakfast, when I'm in the having breakfast, and how you doing? Reading their little new books and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like with their little laptops and whatnot, you know. And then next thing you know, some local African kid comes up and he's just telling them everything. Yeah. Oh, really? Or he says, oh, really? He's sitting there just computing and whatnot. While the African guy just telling them everything. But, you know?
I'm telling you that if you go to a bank sometimes, and it's just a possibility, right? You be standing in line, and then a Lebanese guy comes and they go and wait on him before they wait on you. You understand? So the brainwashing worldwide, Africa is not immune to it. Matter of fact, Africa is more affected by it because they don't understand how deep it is here. Like when I say the belly of the beast, the black people in this country understand the nature of the beast better than anybody else.
That's why we need. That's why we need you guys back. That's why we need to be back.
Yeah. And so that's just the situation. I mean, I know. Okay, Congo, the worst atrocities that ever happened. 20 million Africans murdered by Leopold. Okay, so South Africa, apartheid until just more recent times. Okay. All of these things happen in Africa, but it's fragmented in different ways to the point where they don't fully understand the nature of the beast.
Yeah. At the moment, Africans, some of us back home don't even understand who this white man is. Even those of us in the West, some of us haven't really grasped who these people are. We're soon going to see it.
Well, now you're about to see it. Why? Because I peeped something. I should have saved it, right? There's a bunch of white guys who really think Donald Trump knows the truth about South Africa. He's going to back off. You know, there's these people at Afroforum. One lady asked, if you guys were, why don't you guys take Trump out? No, we don't want to leave South Africa. But you're saying that you're being persecuted. So why the hell are you free?
They're not leaving.
Let
me say this to just a point. Okay, and Carla, you can attest to this because for me, okay, when I go, because the way I speak English, when I speak Liberian English is only to mimic, but my natural way of speaking is how I'm speaking now. It's influenced by Ebonics, it's influenced by a bunch of stuff, but it is what it is. What I am is what I am. But when I go to Liberia, and if I'm not speaking my indigenous language, they automatically assume that I'm from America. They listen to, oh, my man, you coming from the code. They automatically say I come from the code.
Yeah, okay? He's a great African.
That's all right. I don't mind that. I live with it.
Yeah.
And
there's a privilege that comes with that.
Yeah,
to be straight. Yeah.
Because
I use it for my advantage.
We're looking at apartments, right? And so when you take the young boys out there, they show you apartments, right? I came there, and that's in the price of look around double, right? They said so. They left
Of
me
course.
home. They said, "Yo," he goes, "Is that American guy gonna be there?" I'm an American now, you know. That American, the price was
Right.
now I'm an American, you know.
What you gonna do, Carl? Like take your wife with you, right, and let her do the negotiation. You can stand there.
Yeah, Carla, learn the lesson. Carla,
Yeah.
Carla, my wife is Jamaican. When we in Kingston, I don't speak. She does all the talking.
Yep.
Otherwise, the price is gonna double.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because if I speak English, they're like, "Oh, he's from America." They don't even look at me as African. They look at me as American because of the way I speak English. So when it comes to negotiation, my wife handles that. I don't even open my mouth because as soon as you open your mouth, it changes. You know, but in certain situations, if you open your mouth, it becomes a privilege. Everybody wants to be close to you. They want to hear stories about America. They're like amazed. Wow, you from America? Wow. And then if you're like, you almost feel like you have white privilege when you're in Africa.
There's an old story, right? The first couple of Ghanaians that we had coming in the early days before independence, when they came back home, especially to their villages, people put their head out the window just to see who these people, just to see them.
Right.
You know? So it's for us. The white man, I always say this: the white man landing on us was almost like a green man from space just landed.
Right.
He was speaking to the king, but they're the first who speak to him. Then trade. So psychologically, they brought something back with them, which was the newest technology, and they used that to take advantage later on. Okay, but first, you've been abroad, you've been exposed to the outside world. They think all we hear is good stuff from abroad and stuff that we didn't have in Africa. Let's be honest. So it's a privilege to come from that. Like I was saying, I had an uncle who's one of the well-to-do people in Ghana. One day he came to our village. He could only park his car on the main road because we only had one tarred road at the time. And he had it was a Jaguar 4x4, not 4x4, Jaguar Mark 4, the classic sort of English sports car. He had one of them. There's only two in West Africa, and that was one of them. One in Nigeria, and he had the other one. But when the English were leaving, one of his customers left it to him as payment because he didn't have enough time to get cash out and so on. So he left the car to him. So basically, he came. This is 1977 or so. He dropped me off on the main road, gave money for my grandmother for my school fees, and drove back to Kumasi. As he was driving back, the road that leads on to where my school was, the dirt road, and he dropped me at the edge. And as he let me out, it's a two-door car. He opened up. My auntie next to him pulled down the seat, and then I came out the back. The teachers saw me; they couldn't believe it. Their mouth was like, "What the hell?" Right from that day, for the next 3 years, from that day to 79, in that school, I couldn't do no wrong. Yeah. And then my uncle, but he was a well-to-do man. But you could use those things to your advantage, but then it comes with it later on responsibility.
Correct.
You understand? You could use it to your advantage because now in my village, everybody knows my family. If I go there to look for land, in my mom's village, I don't have to look for land because I can ascend to the throne. So you can use those advantages. I bring my family, from my Jamaican friends back. I take them here, because they're with me and they know I'm rural. They giving me whatever I want here is here. So you can use that. So when you're coming from abroad, the reason why Ghanaians love African Americans coming back and so on, one, they come with capital. They don't have to look after them. Two, they coming from this great place that a lot of them want to go. And they seen progress. So they want to get with you. They want to know what you're doing. If I took Great African back and he's talking about palm and he's got the accent, oh man, they're going to be, oh, okay, how we can do this? We do that here. That's business. So I think going forward, what we need is, right now, we need a code, like a new black code, which they had in a Market Garvey used to have. We got a certain way we look at things. We're the new black people. We're going to lift the rest of Africa up.
Correct.
Once we got that standard, we can push it forward. So anybody coming in, you got to meet this standard. Yeah?
Definitely.
That's where we can say, no, you can't walk around with your pants pulled down. You got to be married by a certain age. You got to do this. You should have a business. We could set that standard now. But we have no choice to do that because the Western world ain't no longer going to have time for us no more.
No.
In England, here, they're going to do it in America as well. So we got no choice. Africa is the only choice.
Let me say this, Lewis. There's three conflicts of man versus nature, man versus man, man versus himself. Where we're failing is man versus ourselves. In other words, basically, when I look at people celebrating big meets, right? That's a failure of man versus man.
Yeah.
You know? Man versus man. In other words, basically, man versus man is we have to learn as black men how to hold each other accountable and for actions, what we do, what we say, and how we are. Like we don't have no reason why, because everybody resorts back to, "But a white man made me do it." It's white supremacy, Colin.
No,
Those are going to be excuses too.
Last night and killed 3 people tonight. But the forces of white supremacy got me. You can't hold me accountable. White supremacy, Colin. See, once you have your own civilization, you can hold people accountable.
You can get away from that. I think there's a limit to what we can do in the Western world. We're not going to get any more privilege in America than what you got now. It's not going to happen any more privilege in Europe like what we got now. The only place as black people that we can really do it is on the continent.
It's true.
You understand?
It's true.
So I think going back, as you do the African stand, maybe you might make it popular, Carla, or Diners or other people who got access, because this is where the media is at, right? We need a certain code, like the Negro movement under Marcus Garvey. There was a certain code, even how they dressed, it was written down. Which is where the Nation of Islam going. We need something like that, even with our religion. Me personally, I used to be a Christian. I follow the Israelites, the purple guys, Bishop Nathaniel. That's what I follow. But I could see that under that, because we were all forced to go to church at one time, when we look at it like that from a black point of view, we can have a new ethics, new code of business, right? So that we can actually be back home with it's a new way of looking at it, okay? Because I can get with someone like Great African and Carla than I can do with some of the people in my own tribe.
Definitely. It's look, when it comes to you touched on religion a little bit. Find me anywhere in the Bible that talks about England, that talks about Germany, talks about France. The Bible is entirely in Africa.
Yep.
Okay, the Middle East is Africa, especially ancient times.
Yep.
Okay, so we shouldn't ever look at our spirituality because, circumcision, all of these things. I will submit to you that the ancient world mentions Ethiopia, they talk about Nubia, they talk about Libya, they talk about
it's all set with us. It's
all of that is Africa, is in Africa. So don't let the fact that our spirituality was taken and perverted, and then the Roman Empire took it now and said, okay, we're going to make it us, and we're going to change all the characters and make them Europeans, and then disseminate that all throughout. Don't make it. Don't.
Which more or less
that's what they did. That's what they did. Especially when you talk about King James version, and when King James came along, it was because the reason why he had to make some changes is because he said that the Romans colonized them with this religion. So now we have to go back and turn it into and make it more
he just interpreted into their language. That's all. But even then, in those days, they acknowledged where it was coming from. In those days, they were honest to call him more a black person, like Shakespeare wrote. Later on, when they got hold of the empire around the world, 1700s, after Napoleon War, then they started changing things.
Correct. They started changing. They started changing those things. So definitely, those of us that are in the belly of the beast, the same way that you can go to Africa and see opportunity coming from here is the same way why you see Africans when they come here to see opportunity.
They want to go. Yeah.
Do you understand? They see opportunity. Okay, I'll give you an example. When I came to when I was going to school in Liberia, in my little town, for example, the science book, there was one science book for the entire 6th grade class. You understand? So then the teacher took the important points and put it on the board, and then we use a notebook to take that down and go home and study. Okay. And then be prepared. Well, when I came to America, the first day, all the books were in my desk. You understand? And all the answers was in the back. So I'm coming from a system where I can't even see the book with my own eyes, to the point I got the book and the answers. So how you think I'm gonna perform?
Yeah.
You understand? How you think? I mean, I was awkward. I was standing on the bus stop waiting for a bus, and some dudes rolled up on me. Who you riding with? Who you riding with? I was like, I'm riding with the 76 bus. Everybody started laughing. You know what I mean? So with all that, I was still running circles around them in school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
That's the advantage. There's one
Because
advantage most of us would study back home because it's chew and spit. Have over the kids here when we come. And that's how we end up winning all the time. That bit we got to keep. We just now got to add more with the practice so they can get the books. Now we're doing that. I don't know what it's like in Liberia, but obviously technology allows easier
right.
print.
It's
And
it's
so on.
it's you know, we had used books. Like the first book that I read, one day reading books, it said the first story in that reading book was our first president. And you know who the first president was? George Washington.
Oh Lord.
So there's a lot of, so what I'm saying is we need a curriculum for
Yeah.
our
Africa
that
based, yeah.
has Africa based
Yeah.
curriculum.
Well, we can do. I know that the West African examination board is quite well established now. I think the founding has to be better. I mean, we're
Right.
looking kind of they've improved the health of schools. I mean, we got a guy who recently Nanado brought in 8 years ago. He was building schools in America, and Nanado met him and he said to him before he became president, he said, "Listen, America can do without you, but your country can't do without you." And that man has built all these new STEM schools in Ghana, changed the curriculum around. Guy was brilliant. He can't, but he's from America. He went to Ghana and he went and lived in America. Things in time we got to be the one to make change. When I'm here in Ghana, one of the first things I want to advocate for when I get my factory started is I need a particular examination for, especially when they're teaching woodwork. I'm gonna get involved in that so that my factory will be an example, and I'm going to teach certain things in the technical school to show to the guys coming from technical school more than, so we're not just chopping the timber and selling it. We're gonna make the products out of it. But what's important is that where your expertise come in, we push the people in parliament to force for certain things. You understand?
Right.
That's how we make it. We actually get involved in politics, whether you like it or not, but for a good thing. Even if you're a pressure group in your part of the world. You understand? That's how we
Right.
make sure. You want to see the business, you use that to our influence. We can only do this on a continent. We can't do it anywhere else. So for what Carla is advocating for, I think we can do it, but we don't necessarily have to go through waiting for a big political party. We can actually do it physically on the ground, right? And then
Definitely.
influence politicians because the politicians are under pressure now. The more of our people go back, they got to perform. They can't get away with bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
The independence movements in Africa is always the youth who got educated in the Western
That's it.
sense.
That's
And
it.
then
They're the ones to make a difference.
exactly.
You know?
So
it's a for we are moving. Africa have moved forward. Like I said, today was the 6th of March. That's Ghana's independent. They had a muted celebration this year because the new president and so on. But I am for because we've moved on, but we haven't moved on where we want to go. We know where we need to be. Right?
No.
Our next stage, industrialization.
Industrialization.
Okay? Yeah, that means power.
Ghana has systems. Ghana has systems. Ghana has the population. It has the resources.
There's no excuse for a country
And
like Ghana.
Ghana was smart enough to have dual citizenship. Now they're smart enough to start offering citizenships to Africans in the diaspora. So Ghana is well positioned to become the door of return.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
that's
in
what
that
that's
sense.
what they
But
built
what I
themselves up for. But them politicians, trust me, I was hopeful under the last leader. Muhammad's got no excuses. It's his second time crack at the whip. He got the same vote as he did last time. What happened is Nanado's people got upset with the party, right? And they didn't feel they built enough infrastructure in the interior because we got a lot of people coming to Accra, but we don't have enough money to do both. So rather than him getting himself more debt, he built Accra more, no problem. But the people in the interior said, "We give you 8 years, we're not going to vote for you," and that's how John Mahama come back into power. So the only hope I got is that Nanado's built the country to a certain extent that you can't do worse. You understand? There's no do so no more, so you can't do worse. We're now going for nuclear power, so there's no excuse. Now he's got to step it up. But he hasn't given us a single development plan yet. He doesn't have one because he didn't expect to win, right? But there's no
I
choice
follow
now.
him. I follow the president on LinkedIn. It's good. I would say follow him on LinkedIn.
On
He
LinkedIn, with the new
has
president,
the new president. He's on LinkedIn. I follow him,
yeah.
and so
Well,
everything
hopefully
that
he
almost
can't mess
everything
up
that he's
now.
doing is on there. He's talking. He's so far, as a person that's not from Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's starting off okay. Okay,
He,
just like
he,
I said.
With him,
Mhm.
he's got no excuse. He's already had 6 years in power. He's got to hit the ground running. He had a lot of stuff against him before. Let's see what he does. Like I said, I'm not too hopeful, but we're gonna see. He can only run
Yeah.
one term in a way, right?
Right.
But there's no
Right.
excuse. Ghana has no choice. We got when he was last in office, only 60% range in electricity. Now took it from 60% to 90. The only reason why we ain't got the last 10 is because we want to do the solar and all that in the north. But on top
Yeah.
of that, we've got the license now to do the nuclear, which Nkrumah bought years ago, but they got rid of it. We're gonna do the nuclear. American companies got it. Okay, we need
Right.
to speed it up. There's no excuse for Ghana. From this, there will be. If you hear any
If
Ghanaian giving you any excuse, no bullshit. You know how people
if
get.
there's if they're able to do nuclear power, it's
Yep.
going to boost the entire West Africa
Oh, this is it.
because
Right. We need it.
the dam that was built, I think around Nkrumah's time, they're
Yeah, it's
supplying
still
power.
working. It's 60%
Yeah,
of our energy.
yeah. It just in the dry season is there's not as much flow, but
Yeah,
with
but there's no got no excuse because the Americans helped us and built a new power batch.
right,
They completely built a complete whole new power batch that added an extra, I think, 35% extra power to it. That brought it up to the 90.
oh,
You
that's good.
understand? Right.
Hmm.
So there's no, even without the nuclear, right now, we've got enough electricity running through the system. What's happening is that, in Africa, they didn't repair some of the old wiring that was done years ago in the 70s.
Right, they need
So
to
now they
upgrade
have
their
to go
grid.
back. Yeah, so when you push the power through, it just blows up everything. Yeah. So, and plus people were trying to steal some of the power and all that. But there's grid.
Oh,
You go
okay.
on YouTube, grid all the way around. We saw all that. Yeah. So with Mahama, I want to know from now to when he leaves office, what progress he's gonna make. He said farming, great. I haven't seen much push for it, but let's see. Right. But Ghana as a country, really, there is no excuse. We've had pretty much good, reasonable leaders, especially Nanado. I like him a lot. He wasn't from our party. I'm in old Nkrumah party, but he put to work, despite all the hurdles we had during the COVID, he pushed the country forward. So now with Mahama,
Hmm.
I don't see no excuses. The roads have been built well. He's got to carry on doing that. 110 hospitals Nanado was building. He's got to get funding for that, which we can. Nanado had to hold back the cathedral because it was really his personal idea. It's only £25,000, 25 million spent on the foundation so far. It's going to be built, but it's been put on hold. And then
That's good.
now industrialization, farming. There's no excuse. You've got to help the farmers irrigate. They built some dams in the northern region so that during the rainy season we catch the water and then we can grow stuff all year round. You know about farming. We can all year round in Africa. There's no excuse. We got the heat, the hot weather, right? So we don't
So
have to
yeah.
wait for rainy season to grow stuff. After the dry season, you can still grow stuff.
So hey, gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be um, jumping off, but I'm putting something in the chat
Mhm.
here. What it is follow. We're opening a coffee shop. So
Okay.
it's Rasta Barista, and this is another form of collaboration. And meaning, as a citizen of the Black world, I don't
Mm-hmm.
have boundaries. So
That's it.
I import coffee, Blue Mountain coffee from Jamaica,
Jamaica, yeah.
and from Jamaica right here to Madison, and we're opening the first Black-owned coffee shop in this state. And
Okay.
we're going to be the only coffee shop in the entire Midwest that serves Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. So I
Mm-hmm.
encourage y'all to go to, follow us on Instagram, the Rasta Barista. on Instagram. Follow us, and I'll be putting updates there.
Yeah, I've
And if
seen
you're
it.
a coffee connoisseur, yeah, you can go on there. So I'm just putting in a plug for that. But
Okay,
that's
no
an
worries.
example. That's an
Yeah.
example of
Blue
what
Mountain is quite
we're
popular
doing.
here in England.
Oh yeah, it's very popular. 80% of Blue Mountain coffee goes to Japan, so the rest of the world has to
Okay.
go 20%. The rest of the
Mm-hmm.
20% for all of us. But eventually, we're going to be able to. You'll be able to order the Blue Mountain coffee from us online, and we'll ship it to you
Oh, good.
wherever you are.
Might have to do something for a coffee shop in Ghana. The
Oh yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
Funny
Oh
enough,
yeah.
I've got a friend.
You
He
got
just
also
come from.
very happy. You gotta come to Liberia, your home country, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So like it's these are some of the things that we do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is straight up. Today we had we served some coffee, just coffee, and everybody's very excited about it. They can taste the
Mm-hmm.
difference. A lot of people who usually put a bunch of cream and sugar in are like, wow, I can drink this straight up black and actually
Okay.
taste the coffee. You can actually
Mm-hmm.
taste the coffee instead of all the junk that you put in there that's not really
But
really.
I do like my coffee with the condensed milk, with the tin milk. You know.
Yeah. Condensed milk. That's popular. That's popular.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but like if you haven't straight up 100% Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee,
Uh-huh.
try it black.
Black.
And
Okay.
yeah, just straight up black. I drink my coffee black. I
Mm-hmm.
try not to eat before 12 o'clock, so I just drink coffee, the black coffee, and it's good.
Okay.
It's the only
Mm-hmm.
coffee that I can drink that way.
Uh-huh. Funny enough, is
Everything
a
else I
friend of
gotta put
mine.
something in it.
Yeah, a friend of mine just come from Ethiopia on a month's holiday. Business, just buying coffee actually.
Yeah, Ethiopia. So we're gonna do a blend of an Ethiopian coffee.
Mm-hmm.
We're mixing it with the Blue Mountain. So we're roasting.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing about a 70-30 blend because
Yeah.
there are two high elevation coffee growing in the mountains, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by blending it, so we'll have an
You get
Ethiopian
something
blend.
unique. Yeah.
Yep. So it's an interesting thing, but again,
Mm-hmm.
this business um, is not possible if I wasn't married to a Jamaican woman
Of
who
course, she's
introduced this coffee to me, right?
yeah,
But if I was like a tribalist, I said, "Oh, you know what? I got to marry a woman from my tribe." Well,
yeah. Well, there you go. Listen, to me, now with all the history I got, I mean, 9 out of 10, I'm not going to be marrying someone from our particular tribe because the way I am, I'm often with other black people. Like, the only girl I ever proposed to was a Jamaican lady. So one of my Jamaican friends tell me, "Oh, you like trouble then?" Right.
you like
But
trouble, eh?
you need like-minded people, and if the
Right.
person is like-minded, that's what's important. I was explaining to Carla some time ago is the tribalism. I personally don't believe people should let go of it, but we've got to understand it for what it is. It's your tribe, it's where you're from. Beyond that, there has to be a certain code. We can't be old-fashioned and be just
Right.
tribal. But I don't think we should get rid of it because I want to identify who's doing the bad things, who's doing the good things.
Correct.
It's good
Correct.
for that,
So that's
you know.
yeah. Yeah.
But
So
there's a difference between tribal identity and tribalism.
Oh
correct.
yeah. Now the tribalism is a problem.
The
Tribalism is also
tribalism
a problem.
is a
That's it.
problem. I mean,
Yeah.
your identity is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So you never deny who you are, but that cannot
No.
that doesn't work for economics. It doesn't work for
Thank you. Thank you.
politics. It doesn't
Yeah.
work for you because you could be, for example, you could be in Ghana if 100% of if you're Ashanti, if 100% of Ashantis vote for you and nobody else vote for you, you can't be their
You
leader.
can't do it. It won't work.
Yeah, it
You
won't
know,
work. So
we still got a
yeah,
problem with certain parts, but as people get more education, they mingle more, they see more, it'll change.
right, exactly.
Yeah, it will.
So yeah, gentlemen, and
All right then.
whoever else is
Okay,
not just. I don't want to be
let's
sexist.
go to
So
see if
All right, great afternoon.
Jonathan has
all
something
right,
to say.
take care,
Well,
gentlemen.
Thanks for
Yep,
your
I'll
effort,
catch you later.
brother. Thank you, time,
thank
brother.
you. Yep.
Jonathan, did you want to say anything before we shut down?
Oh, good. Jonathan's in the house.
Yeah, he's quiet.
Go ahead. I was just listening.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Hey,
All right, when
don't
you coming to
forget.
Liberia, bro?
We'll be there in about 2 weeks. I'll send you a message.
All right. But Carla, listen. Carla.
Yeah, I'm here.
Right. Today is 6th of, well, it's gone now, but 6th of March, Independent Day, Ghana. That means you gotta play that. You gotta play the Nkrumah thing. You gotta play the Nkrumah announcement. You already played it before. You know the score.
Y'all getting old for country, so I gotta take that.
It's very
I'm proud of
important.
the progress. Look, I'm proud of the progress y'all making. Also, you guys got TikTok, man. What is going on? You got all these
I'm not on TikTok.
TikTok spreading the word about Ghana. That's like, yeah,
Okay.
that's why I did the show tonight. Man. I'm gonna sit
All
at
right.
20 TikTok. So, and then you got Art Kathy there now. You know,
Oh
look
my
out,
God.
man.
Oh,
You got a lot of scammers out there, and it's all in Ghana, man. I hope it don't crash on your head, man. You know,
the Ghana social media is too crazy, so I don't get involved with it too much. You know, they spend too much time posting bullshit.
TikTok doing a lot of people promoting Ghana on TikTok. You know, so I
Yeah,
don't see
yeah.
no YouTube.
No, social media have served Ghana very well. I
Yeah,
can't
people do
complain
sell
about that.
Ghana well. I give them that. You know,
Yeah. You know,
they do sell Ghana well. You know,
yeah.
they exaggerate, but it's all good.
It
But
is,
anyway,
a lot
let
of it
me
is
keep going.
exaggerated.
I mean, they're exaggerating. Come on, man.
Yeah. You know, but if
One
they
guy
don't,
said, man, he was in Ghana within 3 months. He made $4 million. Stop it in real estate.
who said that? Who's that?
Some guy I was looking at just a minute ago on YouTube. You know,
What was he
while you
doing?
was
Property?
talking, it was like talking about he made $6 million. Let me see if I can find a video. Let me see if I can
What was he
find
doing there? Gold.
it. He said he made $4 million and what you call in a couple of weeks. I'll never do that in America.
Right.
Let me see.
Unless he's selling gold on a big scale. Yeah. A lot of it is crap. I can't see nothing. Hang on.
I can't find it. I'll find it
Yeah,
next
yeah.
time.
I've got the great African thing I put up on my thing at the moment on the screen. I can see you guys. Let me see if I can get. No, that's there in the back.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Put it on the screen if you can. Hey, Carla, you gotta take.
I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. We hold up. Let me see.
You gotta take some films of Liberia while you're there, so you can bang it on your, make a little program. You know.
I don't see what you. Did you put something up on for the stage?
I'm not
Yeah,
really
you
good
didn't
with it.
press. You didn't press it.
What you got? I got Cam Chat More.
Hold up. You got when you go present. You go down the bottom. It says share screen.
And what's Dollar Bill tonight?
But I don't know. Took the night off, but I was. Usually he comes on, I get off because he gets shut it down. But you know,
Oh, okay, yeah. He knows that too.
I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning over here. I know you guys
Yeah,
are like
it's 3 o'clock here as well. We're the same time because
yeah.
you're in West Africa in England, literally the same time. 1 hour difference in the winter time.
Right all day. Anyway, but I'll be back on tomorrow night, fellas. You know, I'll talk to y'all later. Get it together, Louis, and you put whatever you're gonna present. You know, tomorrow night.
All right, no worries.
I'll take care.
See what we can do. All right, all the best. See you again, friend.
All right.